Hi, everybody. He has to do his little
Hi.
thing. Nothing happens instantaneously. Back in the 90s, I used to watch all these TV, on PBS, the new computing, wonderful wowness, and everything was going to happen in nanoseconds. Everything was nanoseconds. 18 trillion nanoseconds.
It's kind of funny. They all of the future predictions on what computers were going to look like or do were they were mostly wildly behind what computers actually do. Some of them were ahead or too optimistic, but
I think the Jetsons had it pretty good, accurate with Spacely being on the video monitor talking to him. That would be just a total Zoom call.
and George had to come home and he was exhausted because he had to push the button 3 times that day.
Yeah.
I've had those days.
Well, it was a stiff button.
Yeah.
And it's sad how realistic the Flintstones are too. That's the
Yeah, that's more like it. Hey, Kendra.
Hi, Kendra.
Hey, Kendra.
I can't see my chat because my computer's not.
We're okay. We're a little flustered because of computers being slow and not working right.
Except for me.
My computer's fine. It's just hotter than a damn pistol out here as well. It's 100 degrees, but the humidity is it's not high for what you guys are used to, but it's sure as hell high for what we're used to.
I think we turned the corner up in Fernandinaville, where we went from high 90s 2 weeks ago to mid 80s. It seems like all week.
Yeah, we're in the low 90s down here this week.
It's a little nicer, but I'm still leaving the windows closed right now because it's still not.
It is muggy.
Yeah, it's still muggy.
Yeah.
Usually September and October is the very rare open window weather. You just leave it open all day and all night.
Yeah.
Speaking of Amelia Island, first weekend in October, I think me and the wife are going to be staying down there the whole weekend. We're going to come check in to a VRBO beach house right on the beach on Saturday afternoon and stay till Monday.
Ah.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
So as I have more details, I was going to let you two know exactly when we're going to be there. So
You didn't have to do that. I got a guest room.
yeah, she wants to be right on the beach.
Well, I got a mud pit, which is better.
Right. Hopefully the hurricane season won't be hitting at that point.
Yeah, one would hope.
No, I love technology.
I don't know. Riding out a hurricane in somebody else's house is a lot more fun than your own.
I gotta say, I used to look forward to hurricanes when I lived with my mom, in Jacksonville. When I was in my 20s, I used to hope we'd get a direct hit. Now that I've got my own house with my own trees and my own, I'm like, I don't want that to hit, So I'm kind of like the opposite now.
Jacksonville area is really not a hot zone though for direct hits on hurricanes, are they?
No, knock on wood.
Mostly
once every 100 years.
Yeah.
The last one was 64.
Yeah, it was 100 years ago.
Seems like it. Oh, speaking of 100 years ago, so the Hollies have officially retired. They've officially broke up after they've been together since 1962.
Oh my God.
That's because how many of them are dead?
I don't know if any of them are dead. They just
really?
got they just got old and retired. The only one I know that floofied was Alan Clark, the lead singer. He retired early because he had a throat problem and vocal issues, and he couldn't do the leads anymore. So he was replaced by Carl Wayne of The Move, the lead singer of The Move. And Carl Wayne floofied in 2005. And I don't know who they got to replace him, but no, they were just getting too old to do it.
Yeah, coming out on their walkers, and
a lot of bands don't do that. They just have backup singers do all the heavy work, all the heavy lifting, and then they just say something and tell the audience, to sing the chorus, sing it, because they're
Sing it!
yeah,
Sing it!
sing it.
One of
No,
the-
when I
one of
was
the-
at when
one
I
of
was
the-
at the Monkees concerts, the last one was like 2012. There were freaking a dozen people on stage, like 3 or 4 guitarists, like 2 or 3 drum kits. It's all that crap. And then I was watching a thing. It was the Beatles in Japan back in like '65 or whatever. It was just them, 4 guys, nothing. George, I think, had 2 different guitars, and he had one of those Epiphone casinos, the big hollow body, and then he had a Rickenbacker.
They weren't playing anyway with all the screaming, peeing themselves
No,
girls.
no, you could hear it. The problem was they were doing harmonies, but one mic wasn't working worth a damn. So all you got was like the the harmony vocal without the lead. It's like, what?
That's funny. What were you gonna say, Darn?
saying the big controversy nowadays for old musicians is Rick Springfield,
Yes.
because apparently he gets up on stage and takes his shirt off and has a 6-pack and looks like he's 40 and runs around and just kicks ass, and dude's 70.
Yeah,
You know what? Give it to him.
yeah.
Yeah. My favorite YouTube kind of music biography channel is called Guitar Meets Science. The guy's his voice, he sounds like Butthead. But he huh? No, he just the way he talks, it's like, and he's funny. He's real colorful with the way he describes things. A little exaggerative, but he he'll talk about some guy getting screwed or some band getting screwed, this and that. And I in the comments I told him about the Little River Band a couple nights ago, and he actually responded to my comment.
Oh, for F's sake. I was goofing around. I forgot my doohickeys.
Yeah, he said, "Dude, that's crazy. Sheesh, the music business never ceases to amaze me." So, maybe he'll cover that one. It sounds like something he would cover, even though he mostly
Come on, great.
sticks to harder rock and stuff like that. But the story's good enough. He'd cover it.
You know what pissed me off?
Oh, go for it.
You heard about Dolly Parton, right?
Mhm.
Have you heard any comment from Jolene?
Nope.
Me neither. Not a damn thing.
I know, right? Actually, I thought that maybe I jinxed her because last night I got out one of the old rock encyclopedias before I went to bed. It's like I hadn't looked at one of these in a while. I like to go through them and see who's floofied and kind of pretend I'm telling the author who made the encyclopedia in like 1991 who's still alive and who's not. And I got to Dolly Parton. I'm like, oh, she's still around. She's still cute as ever. That's pretty nice that Dolly Parton's still doing it. And then the next day, find out she's floofied. So I guess I did it.
Damn it, Timmy.
Well, it's your
Were you
fault
looking up-
for.
Yeah. Were you looking up
Was it-
Shelley Fabares too?
It was a motorcycle crash. She was doing a wheelie.
Angel.
Doing a wheelie.
Yeah. Maybe that was somebody else.
Yeah,
I'm
you're,
mixing up-
you're thinking of Papa Wheelie.
I was thinking of Evel Knievel.
Oh, that guy.
I used to love watching him when he would do his prime time shit back in the 70s.
Richard
I had
Hammond went and did an episode of a show where he visited Evel Knievel and spent the day with him. And he just go on about how disappointed he was because Evel Knievel could barely walk and he was like 80 years old. And I'm like, the dude's 80 years old and he can barely walk. What do you expect?
And had every bone in his body broken,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the Evel Knievel crash car, which isn't saying much considering he was never supposed to crash anything. Darren had the motorcycle and I had the crash car.
My
You remember
parents
those,
pissed
Darren?
me
That,
off at
that
like
had that thing you had to wind it up, that rotor thing, and then it shot the mouth.
shot the motorcycle off. Yeah.
Yeah, and the crash
I was
car.
I was about to say that's what pissed me off about my parents in like 77, 78. I wanted the Evil Knievel, set with the RV, the
Oh,
everything
yeah.
else. They got me the Evil Knievel action figure, the RV set and everything, but forgot the motorcycle and the wind up thing that launched the motorcycle.
Oh, nice.
Well,
Actually,
y-
Evel Knievel passed away in 2007 in Clearwater, Florida. He was 69 years old. So
if you're
nobody knew
anything
him when he
like
was
me,
80.
Chuck, you don't play with toys the right way.
Yeah.
You would have had a heart attack if you saw how I played with a mousetrap.
All right.
Well,
Well,
look at
didn't
me
everybody
now. I'm
just
not a.
assi-
Go ahead.
Didn't everybody just assemble the mousetrap and screw around with it?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think so. Well, look at me now. I'm not a slot car, but I'm still set up to track that way,
Yeah, I was going to say the game Mousetrap. I'm not even quite sure anybody actually knows how to play the game. It's
Yeah, who has the patience for it? You just set it, it took long enough to set the damn thing up. I'm just going to get that Burt Mustin to jump
Yeah.
into the tank. I never noticed that darn until later on. I didn't realize that man on the diving board looked like he was like 90 years old.
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you
I
notice
don't-
that?
I don't remember that.
Well, you know what I'm talking about, though, right?
No.
Do you remember the great game Mousetrap? We had to assemble that big.
Yeah, I remember the game, but I don't remember specific details like what.
It
Well,
was
the
the
marble
red-
goes. The marble does all this stuff and goes down the chute and does a skippy dippity and all this stuff. But the punchline of the whole thing, the end of it, is it hits a seesaw or a board that's on a pivot, and on the other end of the board is a plastic figure of a man in a swimsuit, and he jumps into this cylinder. It's like a pool.
Like a wooden tub.
Yeah. So, but I never noticed it until I think Tony brought it up, and I looked at online, and the guy looks like he's 90 years old. The guy with the swimsuit.
Well, yeah, but this game was made in the 60s or 70s, right? So the guy was probably supposed to look 40. All right, so Tony might know this. What kind of machine is that? Named after a guy?
Crapper.
No, some obscenely complicated machine to do something.
Oh,
simple.
Rube Goldberg.
Yeah, I knew that. I couldn't remember what the name was.
Yeah, he was a cartoonist. I had a book of his cartoons for a while.
Yeah, it's like we can. All right, take a task you can do in 3 steps and do it in 40.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it usually with a squirrel and like a firecracker and what other. And there was usually a step along the way that was highly unlikely that it would ever be successful.
Are you on your phone, Chuck, still?
Yes.
You seem okay. I'm looking forward to trying out your new card game.
What new card game?
You got some ask your friends dumb questions or something?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Here, I'll do the first one. It's about animals.
Oh, good.
True.
Name an animal that you find so icky that even the thought of touching it gives you the creeps.
Chihuahua.
Interesting.
It would be some kind of bug.
I don't know.
Cockroach.
Yeah,
Eh,
I hit one with my fist a couple nights ago. Or one of those
Good.
palmetto bugs that you like to call them down there.
Yeah, those are awesome.
I think
that's a good one.
Stepped on and squashed one. I think I've only seen one in the house, and it was squashed outside my bedroom door.
Mm.
And I don't remember squashing it, but I must have.
Oh, I guess a rattlesnake, poisonous snake.
No, that's not. It's got to be because it's icky,
Yeah.
not
Oh.
because it's dangerous.
Or like those potato bugs that I've never seen in person, but only in on the internet. They look
Right.
like a baby with like 6 arms and legs.
Right.
And Kendra said a snake. Snakes.
Snakes aren't icky.
Snake,
I've had king snakes wrapped around my arm.
I'm just trying to think of one because so I can't say
One of
like a
those
yellow
weird
jacket. then.
salamander, or one of those weird salamanders that has like the lungs or the gills sticking out.
Yeah, I guess something like that.
watched
So-
that Midsummer movie, and spoilers if you haven't seen it. They do the blood eagle on a guy, where they
Nice.
kind of crack his ribs from behind. I guess I don't know if that's ribs, but and they pull the lungs out of your back. and-
What?
While you're still alive,
Who does
And-
that?
Swedish
Not
people,
me. Yeah,
Why?
and-
you got
because they're
meatballs.
they're pagans. But anyway, so the guy had his lungs out, and you could see they were breathing a little bit. And I thought that your lungs just sat there, and the reason they work is because your rib cage expands and contracts.
No,
Am I-
you have the
am I-
diaphragm, which is across the bottom of the chest cavity.
Okay, yeah, but it's something else, and that the fact that they're just kind of uncollapsed in there is why they work. They don't have
Yeah.
muscles of their own.
Yeah, they don't.
But it had Florence Pugh in it, so that
Oh,
made it a
good.
good movie.
Pew.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I
Pug.
have no idea. It's one of those words.
P-U-G-H?
It doesn't have either didn't have enough consonants or didn't have enough vowels, so it's just
Yeah.
it just
Blech. Blech.
It is. I'm trying to go. I'm trying to think of different animals. I'm like a jellyfish. Those are nasty. But then I'm like, no, I used to throw those at my mom. So Kendra, I probably used to throw them at Kendra too.
yeah.
It used to be a fun thing to do, is throw jellyfish at people.
How about grasshoppers?
Oh, spiders are pretty icky. I don't like
They'll-
spiders.
They'll spit on you.
Grasshopper.
Yeah.
They don't really freak me out. Yeah, I guess a spider, but we get the little jumping spiders here, and they don't bother me. They're cute.
What about like a 6 foot wide spider leg span?
Yeah,
Australia.
that would freak
Australia.
me
Well,
out,
anything in
yeah.
Australia is going to
Yeah,
even the bunny
typical
rabbits will
Australian.
kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Gotcha?
Spider, I think, is probably my.
Spider, yeah.
I'm not a big fan of. I can deal with most other animals. Of course, I haven't encountered most animals on this earth, but
Did you ever see that? Go ahead.
Some spiders don't bother me if they're kind of lame and okay.
Hey, Gotcha.
But there are big, gross spiders that freak me out.
trying to see if this
Oh my
working.
goodness! There's two Chucks.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
wild.
We have to guess which one's real.
With the real Gotcha, please stand up. No,
Make sure your speakers are on. Oh, sorry.
So
Nope.
there was a Carol Burnett skit where she was in the bedroom with her husband. It was either Harvey Korman or Tim Conway. I don't know, but or Lyle Lovett. I
Both
don't
of
know. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, she was freaking out, screaming because there was a spider, and this went on and on for like 2 or 3 minutes, and he couldn't find the spider anywhere, and this and that. She's freaking out
Hey, I found it.
Yay!
Let me close this one out.
So
She's freaking
okay,
out.
so she's totally freaking out about this spider that he can't find and this and that. And finally, he's about to turn out the light and just put it to rest, right? And when he turns around, there's this giant spider and it takes up his whole back.
Nice.
It's not, and that would have freaked me out. But it was a funny skit. It was a funny punchline. But wow, that would have, yeah, a spider that big would freak me out, definitely. But they're not like, it's not, I don't have a phobia. I guess what I'm saying is I don't have a phobia for any kind of animal particularly. I mean, if I lived in Africa, then I might have a phobia for everything there, because I think like everything will kill you.
Yeah.
It's not just Australia. It's Africa and South America.
Yeah.
Probably India too. I think
Yeah,
Australia-
but I think Australia is the only one that has venomous mammals.
The platypus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but
Oh,
I mean, in
they're
Africa, they might not be
assholes.
venomous, but they'll still eat you to death. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's tiger. If I had to get eaten, I'd buy an animal while I was alive. I'd rather it be a lion or a tiger.
Because they just get the job done and kill you.
Well, because they kill you. And
Well,
then
they don't,
eat you.
because cats, you ever seen a cat with a mouse? They'll toss the thing around, bounce it off the walls. Yeah,
My
I don't know
cat
if
used
lions
to.
or tigers do that.
My cat used to catch moths, and
Nice.
he or she, I don't remember which one it was, would walk around with the moth body in her mouth, but the wings just outside. Just walk around and show you.
Yeah,
There was Vic or Sylvester.
I think it was Hickory because when she would eat them or something like that, she would just be hacking up because they were like so dry or something. But there's a video out there of a zoo, and there's these lions, a bunch of lions in the zoo, and there's this bird that comes up, and this bird starts taunting them, spreading its wings out and being a bird bully to these lions, and they're backing up. They don't know what to do. And finally, the lion, after probably 30 seconds of this, what they'd look at each other and they just they eat the bird. They kill it. But it's like it was just funny when they come to the realization. What the fuck are we doing? It's a fucking bird.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, I found on YouTube. It was the first. There's been a few Beach Boys movies, biopics, and this one came up, Summer Dreams, the full movie, the Beach Boys movie, and um, I hadn't seen it since the '90s, so I watched it like yesterday or day before, and I never noticed this, but Brian and Dennis Wilson, they both had heavy Brooklyn accents. So it's like Murray's in the control room effing with them, and you're like, stop sticking on my fucking dick, and it just came across as kind of funny.
Uh,
I mean, they were not just Brooklyn, but like Brooklyn, like uh, caricature Fonzie kind of stuff, and it's like, where do they find these guys?
well, when Mel Blanc was asked about Bugs Bunny, he said he was basically going for some kind of a combination of Brooklyn and the Bronx.
It's all
I
fucking.
wouldn't be able to
Sorry,
tell
it's all New York.
New York,
the
New
difference?
York, New York.
What's the difference?
Oh, I'm sure there are subtle differences. It's like the people who say Boyd. Lousy, stinking Boyds.
Woods.
So
I had
was he from New York, Mel Blanc? Because who else would even notice that? Unless you just live there and know which neighborhoods. They're just neighborhoods.
I had a friend one time that was from New York, and he says all five boroughs, including some other areas, have different dialects. They can tell where people are from. They're either from Long Island or Staten Island or Brooklyn or Bronx.
You know why? It's because one is probably inhabited by Jewish, and one is like Irish, and one's Italian. That's probably where you get the different dialects or whatever.
I had a friend once.
Oh, good.
Once.
Well, you had two friends once.
That's
So
true.
till you did that thing.
Yeah.
The next
Well,
one.
there was somebody in the Vortex chat last night was saying though, oh yeah, you should check out because this guy said he didn't like gangster movies, so somebody else said hey, you should check out Johnny Dangerously. That one's pretty funny. It's a parody of all that. And I said I watched Johnny Dangerously once. Nobody got it. Nobody got the fucking reference. God, these people.
Well, what about when I did that poster thing where I mixed two posters together, and I did the book for Pet Cemetery with that cat coming out from underground, like the evil thing. And then I put the Disney, that darn cat with the Disney font and everything. And everybody commented on it. Oh, I love that movie. It's my favorite Disney movie. And it's like, nobody fucking gets it. I also did one with Titanic, but I took the ship. You know, it has that goofy man and woman that were in it, and they had the ship between them in the poster. I got rid of the ship and put Jaws there, and still called it Titanic. And I had all the other font for the Titanic. I just put the Jaws.
I've seen some of those
There you go.
mix-ups. They had Titanic and Godzilla one time, you know. That's
Was
what really
Godzilla?
saved Titanic, you know, was
Boy, you said Godzilla, and makes me miss putt.
WWPS. We all got to wear that. What would Putt say?
What would Putt say? We would just be seeing the top of his head about now.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't always like that. About just the last couple of years.
After he had his stroke.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's how
So
I've
here
been
you go.
feeling lately.
Huh?
That's how I've been feeling. I take like 3 or 4 hours worth of naps every day now.
Yep.
No energy.
Well, heck, hi, Wendy Wass.
Hi, Wendy.
Wendy Wass.
Fancy seeing you
Sweetness.
here. Wendy got a new Bronco car. Not a Bronco horse, but a Bronco car. Am I right?
I thought it was a
What?
Honda.
Was it?
You got a new vehicle, Wendy. That's very nice.
Yeah, well, yeah. Very cool. How you been? Yeah, we all missed our putt.
The next dumb question for my friends. You're moving your house using 1 million helium balloons. What object do you throw overboard to stay afloat?
Myself.
The idiot who suggested moving it with helium balloons.
You know what? I've got a few guitars that I wouldn't mind throwing over the ballast. You know, because I'm so sentimental, I don't want to get rid of my broken guitars because they were on this song and that song, and they were just kind of a part of me, you know. But that's why I wish I could be a successful musician. That way I could do a charity auction and donate those guitars to people who would actually, you know, cherish them for what they are. Instead, I just got these junk guitars.
What is a Bronco? Okay. Why did I think I saw the picture? I thought I saw some other logo on it.
She said it's a she. Did you look underneath or something?
He's a 2026 Bronco Sport Big Bend.
Ah,
You know, what's happened before where these women, they like to call their cars she's, and then, you know, it ends up that the car is a he, and it's been humiliated the whole time. Especially when they paint it pink and put eyelashes on it, and it turns out it's a dude.
Cars, boats, and planes are all she.
So I don't
Yep.
know. I just
Only girls and queers believe that.
whoa.
you're an idiot. But
Although my
that's
car
okay.
is named Darth Vader, so maybe it's not a she.
Oh.
Tony got offended because I call him out.
You called out
Her name is-
everybody who's ever sailed the ship in the last 3 or 4 or 5,000 years. So just
Yeah, you just called everybody but you out, Tim.
This one's kind of funny. You ready? In a nightmare, you find a famous person's head in your fridge and it's smiling. Who is it?
The fuck?
It's dumb questions for your friends.
Mark Levin.
Mark Levine.
Yeah, I'm not a big Mark Levin fan. Steve loves him. Mark Levin gives Steve bedtime stories every night.
Well, it's a nightmare, so I'm still thinking.
Nope. I don't
Rosie
understand.
O'Donnell.
I don't understand naming cars and boats anyway. So I don't know. They're things.
That's just the thing.
They don't get pregnant. They don't procreate. They're just things.
I don't get pregnant or procreate.
Well, you're not a thing.
How about a VW thing?
Do they still even make those? I haven't seen one of those since like what they made them like from what 73 to 74 or something like
I
2
think
years.
so. They were only in the U.S. for like a couple of years.
I like the name Pearl though, Wendy. Good job.
Uh,
My wife named her Subaru Jenny, so
Well, people ask what my I think people have asked what my Mustang. Oh, what'd you name her? It's like it's Mr. Mustang,
hmm.
and then their heads explode.
Back to pick you up later.
they named hurricanes after girls. No, they started using boy names too, didn't they?
Well, back in the day with the Weather Service people, they just figured we're going to give it a name because they didn't know what hurricanes were really until they had airplanes, powerful enough to fly over them. That's what it is.
Well, it's
And
kind of
so
like
they
people
started-
back in the old days didn't know what a fucking boat was.
Yeah. And so when they were able to observe, the whole thing, that's what's going on. So they started giving them names, and being
then they got
dudes, they give them
satellites.
girls' names. And then somebody came up, Gloria Steinem or some bullshit. Well, you should name them boys' names too. Okay, we'll call it Hurricane, Filbert.
Ernesto.
Who the hell can tell? Because there are all these weird foreign names that nobody's ever heard of before. Hurricane Schmidtgum or something like that. What the? And it's not and they always start over at the beginning, so you never get a hurricane that goes in. You never have a
Zelda.
or anything with a T or a W or an R. Never a Hurricane Ralph because they all start over at like G, and then they have to keep
Well, there was
reusing
one
the same
season they were
names.
going into Greek letters because they'd actually ran all the way through A to Z.
They ought to name them
Hurricane
after
Zeke.
porn stars.
And also, if it's a really deadly storm, they will retire that name. They won't name anymore. Like there'll never be another Hurricane Camille.
Or Katrina.
Yeah.
Oh, sure there will because everybody that remembers those storms are dead now. Well, maybe not Katrina, but
Well,
the
that's
other
why.
Camille. Hey, remember that hurricane from 1969? Oh, fuck off. We're stepping on my
Yes,
fucking dick.
because nobody reads a book or has looks at any history or anything like that. Everybody's just
What
world
good does it
begins
do
when
to
you-
look at history because it's all fake anyway?
NOAA, National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Institute, has a webpage.
What?
Yeah, they have a webpage with historical data on hurricanes, and it's by decade, and it tells you how
Oh.
many storms of each category and whatnot. And it basically shows that we're kind of in a fairly mild downward. They're getting weaker and fewer in.
It's like global warming.
But so global warming, they say since 1960, the storms were like 50% more storms. That's because in the 60s and 70s, it was a freakishly, normally you'll have a dozen or so, maybe a dozen a year. 60s and 70s, the worst year had like 4. There was almost nothing in the 60s or 70s. So that's why they use it as a starting point. But the data is all there. It's like from the 1800s.
I just think then everybody was on drugs and they didn't realize what was going on.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
That's because people in the past were stupid.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
All these people here are stupid. Every damn one of them. None of them understood melody either.
Darren's mad at me now. He's not going to talk anymore. See the way he does me? Hey, Lewis.
Yeah, you can talk to me though,
Lewis.
darn.
Okay.
And then Wendy, would you mind if I reach out to you on Messenger? Me and the wife are going to spend a weekend in Amelia Island, like the first weekend of October, and we're going to be there for like 3 days. Just maybe like to meet up and just say hi, meet the wife, and sorry, had to reach out to her this way.
Ah, okay.
You frozen over there, Timmy?
No, I'm just wondering why I pissed off Darn now. You
Well,
all were
wasn't
okay
that what you
pissing
were-
me off the first half of the show, but you know. And what's that behind you, Guts, Chuck?
That's a Rolex.
I'd ask you how many you have, but then that would be doxing yourself.
I have 0.
Really?
I've only owned 2, and I sold both of them, and then I kicked myself in the ass every other week. But the reality is, while I love the aesthetics of a Rolex, and they're just beautiful watches built, that when I had both of mine, whenever you wore it, you like covered it up, and you never wanted to wear it because you were always afraid you were going to hit something or break it, or
Hmm.
somebody was going to
Okay.
see it and rob it off your wrist, or it's a beautiful watch. You just don't ever want to freaking wear it.
You know, I was that way with the Rickenbacker for I wouldn't touch it for about a year, maybe even 2 years. And then finally I'm like, you know what? What good is having it if I just leave it in the case? I'm afraid to touch it. So now I touch it all the time. I rub it. And,
You just go up to him.
Yeah.
Say, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Giuseppe,
Look at all the names on those boats.
Familia Piazza, San Giuseppe, and Mussolini.
Mussolini.
Yep.
that's French for Missouri.
Yeah.
That's
Because
it.
whoever picks up a history book, these guys are fishing in the city. Yeah, but you're only going to catch city fish, and they're full of shit, aren't they?
The puppy looks so relaxed from Steve Jarrett.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys think that Steve Jarrett's lying, that he has sinus issues and can't hear.
No, if he skipped his own show, then I said that's a clue that maybe he is sick.
Oh, there
No,
it is.
he overslept and missed his show and is like, I got to make up an excuse.
He's in chat, you goof.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm saying it. I'm trying to provoke him into coming in.
Yeah. How to
Now,
Win
put
Friends and
yourself out
Influence
of
People by Timmy Roth.
How to what?
How to Win Friends and Influence People.
That was a
It was
book.
actually a book by a person named Dale Carnegie, who you've never heard of.
how to influence and win friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I read it one time.
I always used to get him mixed up with Dale Carnegie and Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie was U.S. Steel. He was
He didn't
owned
give a shit
the
about
entire
having
country.
friends.
Yeah, no. Shit.
Who's the one they
They had
named a
money.
hall after?
Well, there was Tammany. That was Tammany Hall.
There's a Carnegie Hall too.
Yep. Yeah, that was probably Andrew. It was probably Andrew Carnegie, because the rich people say, "Oh, people will like me if I make a music hall or a library or some shit." Usually doesn't work. Back then, it kind of worked. Oh, they got a library. Look at these little
Well, what's
leaders.
the next question? Ah.
You're asking us?
Okay, what object would you grab first if your house was burning down?
My balls.
Dick. Yeah.
Good grief. I would I would grab, well, we're talking about an object. I would grab the blue window from Judy's house.
Ah.
Then it'll have survived 2 fires.
What would I grab first? No, I have to do the chivalristic thing and say I'd have to at least grab the wife first, and but hopefully
Is your wife an object?
Don't objectify her.
Oh, I'm
Women-
sorry.
Women don't like that.
I'm sure she's moving under her own power, but
Yeah, but it's okay to call boats and everything. Never mind. I'll go there again. Y'all are crazy as hell.
He treats objects like women.
Yeah.
Mhm. I don't know. What would
Heck,
I
I'm the
grab?
one that turns them into objects in my videos. So,
Yeah, good point.
but I'm not like anal about it, saying they all have to be this and they all have to be that. You got to
Well,
put
it is.
mustard on a hot dog and all that bullshit.
Well, yes, you do.
Everyone gets
Otherwise, you're a
so
communist.
uptight about every gosh dang thing.
Mustard
Yeah,
on
if
a
you-
hot dog. Ugh.
You got to put mustard
I
on
know,
a
it's
hot
just
dog. Otherwise, you're a
disgusting.
communist.
You gotta
See,
put
see what I
mayonnaise
mean?
on a hot dog.
Oh, gross.
Well, enjoy being a communist.
I'm like the only
Sauerkraut.
one here that am absolutely fine with people putting whatever the heck they want on their food because I'm not going to watch them eat anyway. It's like watching someone eat's like watching someone pooping. It's just like do what you got to do.
You know, I put on my hamburger, I put A1 steak sauce. I don't put anything
Ah,
else.
there you go.
Oh, that's
Yeah, just
disgusting.
just don't put it on steak. That's all.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Steak, go ahead. Steak calls for butter, salt, and pepper.
That's it.
Ah, there you go.
Possibly you can cook a little bit of garlic in the butter.
Oh, and
What's
ketchup,
funny
of
is
course.
in the supermarket, I used to see years ago, they would have like steaks that had been sort of like pre-smashed, like with a they have those tenderizer things, and it would actually have a pat of butter on it in the packaging, and it was like shrink wrapped, and it was a cheap ass steak with a pat of butter in the middle of it, ready to cook.
Interesting. Is that
Yeah.
Swiss steak?
I don't. Think
I made
so.
that. I've made that a few times, and that's
Yeah.
basically just a cheap steak that you beat and everything until it's real thin, and it's good. Cooking.
Did you say did you say a Swiss steak?
Yeah.
Okay.
Swiss is the method of making it real thin or slicing it so that it gets tender. Doesn't have anything to do with Switzerland, as it
Is it
turns
like
out.
a
Nothing
steak-um?
does.
A steak-um?
But pretty much, yeah. But no,
Steak-ums.
have you had those little like a little hammer with like serrated,
The teeth on it.
like little cones all over, and you would beat the crap out of your cheap steak with it, and then that would make it less cheap or something.
It's a tenderizer mallet. My mom
Yeah.
had one. She used
Ah.
the crap out. She used that thing all the time. She'd always
On
pound
you?
it. But sometimes she would use it on the food too. Usually she's just hitting me with.
Hitting the corn on the cob with it,
Do
Yeah, I still have that.
you?
Well, when I was a
Yeah.
kid, I didn't know rolling pins were used for anything but hitting your husband with.
And sticking up your ass.
Yeah, we didn't do that. But when I was a kid, people weren't speaking out of their minds.
And when he
You're
said she
doing it.
agrees about the steak and that you must put mustard on the hot dog. I can't stand mustard. I can't even. That's okay. You talked about an animal that I'm so squeamish I could never touch one, and just I'm not that way about animals, but I'm that way about like potato salad or like mustard or mayonnaise or anything like that.
Delicious things.
Yeah.
I think that's why when I was searching for the classic car, I specifically avoided anything that was white, yellow, or in between. And it's the same with like maybe it's because it reminded me of potato salad or something.
And that's interesting because the perfect way to eat a burger is lots of mayo and mustard, and then you dip it in ketchup. That's
Or,
ideal.
if you're really lazy, you can get a jar of mayo and mustard all mixed together.
Oh, gross! You're gonna make me throw up.
I think
All of
they
you-
also-
They sell that, I think.
Well, they do. That and Goober grape. Remember Goober grape? It had like stripes of grape jelly and peanut butter in it. It was like, how lazy do you have to be? Of course, now we have what they call snackables, I think, or they call it Uncrustables is what they're called. They are a ready-made peanut butter sandwich.
without
How
the
much
crust.
of a goof do you have to be to go to the store and buy ready-made PBJs?
You need.
So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I made two
ahead.
discoveries over the last week. One of them is bacon sandwiches. I used to think bacon is awesome, so the more bacon you get on a sandwich, the better.
Yeah.
I recently discovered a thin layer of bacon on the sandwich with some salt, pepper, and ketchup. It's perfect. And then you have more bacon to make more sandwiches.
Oh, there you go.
But it's better balanced. and it just tastes good. The other thing I discovered is I think Alton Brown is his name. Is that a chef, celebrity chef?
Yes.
So he had a show back in the late 90s that I started watching reruns on. So it's 4:3 aspect ratio and everything. But he did an episode on ice cream and stuff. And for Italian ice, the key is to have it has to have sugar. And so unfortunately it has to have a bunch of sugar, but the sugar makes it freeze in tiny little ice crystals instead of bigger ice crystals. So as it goes and it freezes, it becomes like a slush. And then when you freeze it solid, it's still scoopable. It's not just a block of ice. So I thought about getting a little ice cream machine today. And then I checked my bank account and didn't. But it's still interesting. That's all I had.
And we got to use in third grade. We got to use an ice cream machine. It was a hand cranker, and I was surprised at how much friggin' force it required. Of course, I was 9, but that was the only time I ever used one of those.
We used one of those too. Yeah, and the problem is then you got to buy rock salt, and it just it sounds expensive.
My dad had one of those when we were growing up there in Aurora, and we'd sit in the backyard in the summertime, and he'd make me, Jeff, and Amber all rotate through it,
Oh, but
turn
that
the
fresh
tank from
vanilla
50 to
ice cream,
45.
made by hand is so good. When Treble Clef, when I lived in Alabama, we had a shindig, and a coworker named Dennis, he's the one that had that Dodge Challenger, the 74 Challenger. Well, he came over with his wife. His wife made the best cookies in the world. Well, they brought over that churn and everything with the rock salt, and they made ice cream, and he played the bass for us. He was our bass player that day. And it was just so neat because, he just look at us, see what key the song starts in, and he just wail away and gave us exactly what we needed. I mean, that's a good bass player. Just come in with, these original songs and just come in and do it. That was pretty cool. I miss Dennis. He was a good guy. He's still, well, I don't want to jinx him like I did Dolly Parton yesterday.
There you go. How many coffees is too many coffees in one day?
Oh, you're
I have
asking
no
me?
idea.
I have like a 16-ounce coffee mug, and I make I'll drink a pot a day probably.
Yeah,
I was going to
I
try
sometimes
making
have 1.5.
1.5
Italian
pots.
coffee
Yeah.
Italian ice.
Oh, you'd like the cold coffee?
No, but I love coffee flavored ice cream.
Oh yeah, God, that's great.
Have you gotten the coffee rub for your steaks yet? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't understand. I used to buy chock full of nuts coffee, and then it says on the. I one time looked at the label and it says contains no nuts. Then it's like an oxymoron. My brain almost like did a Star Trek thing.
What's funny is chock full of nuts coffee. The can used to have the World Trade Center on it. It took them a little while to change their logo after.
Well, it's an old brand, so I would assume that the Trade Center was probably a redo anyway, wouldn't you think?
I think it was a restaurant called Chock full of Nuts, and I think they were referring to their clientele. And
Oh, it's like buying Dunkin' Donuts coffee and getting pissed when it doesn't contain donuts.
Yeah.
You buy as Dennis Leary would say, you dunk the donuts in the coffee, and hence the name of the place.
Yeah, at least it makes
him what
sense
flavor
for Dunkin'.
coffee he wanted.
Yeah, that at least makes sense because you dunk the donut in the coffee. But chock full of nuts. I mean, if you don't know the backstory about the fruit stand or whatever the hell they stilled the coffee for, it's just like you would think that there would be nuts in the coffee which actually sounds like it might be kind of good. Not like a full nut.
Yeah, because I've had hazelnut coffee, and that kind of. Some people like it. I'm not really crazy.
Oh, I've had the hazelnut like creamer, and it's really good.
Yeah,
I don't dig on flavored coffee so much.
Well, I think you know this. Do you drink coffee still, Darn?
Not much.
If
I drink coffee, I'm going to be sweating all day.
Oh,
so it's more of a winter thing.
I get
I noticed that.
I get an kind of an expensive creamer I get on Amazon called Bulletproof. I've showed you that before. It's like made with like grass-fed butter and some other
Yeah.
different things. But it's really, it tastes like it's like it's like an orgy in my coffee.
Oh my
That's
God.
disgusting. Gosh, shock. You always got to bring the show down with your gutterness.
Somebody's
It's
got
good
no-
though. It's like $30 a can, but it's a big can, and you don't have to use the servings. They want like a whole scoop. Boy, it's like I was like 120 calories per serving. I'm like, what for coffee? And it's like a whole scoop as they're serving. I'm like, a whole scoop. I just put a little dash of it in there. I don't. A whole scoop
100
would give you
100
Do you
diabetes.
get the monkey shit coffee too, just to ask,
Weasels. Not monkeys, weasels.
120 calories is an apple or a single peanut butter cup.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Yeah, they are. People need to. A lot of them, they don't look at the calories. Okay, I know the animal now. A mouse or a rat. When I like even picking up like a dead mouse, I just like. I'm like a girl when it comes to those.
So you're like Indiana Jones's father.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the rodents. I mean, squirrels don't freak me, but I guess women even, squirrels and chipmunks don't freak them out, but the mice do. I don't know what it is. It's a tail or I don't know.
Rodents. Why'd it have to be rodents?
Well, Lucy's got kind of a rat tail, but she doesn't freak me out like that.
Gizmo kind of looks like one. He likes being a celebrity.
Ah.
It suits him well there.
Yep.
So, what do you think Darth Vader's favorite food is?
Whatever the hell he wants.
I can just imagine Darth Vader in his little, atmospheric chamber thing, takes his mask off and he's got a big, huge piece of, charred porterhouse with a big baked potato and.
Well, I don't know what would
Probably
what would a
donuts.
hard.
and
Donuts or hard-boiled eggs.
I was about to say, what would a hard-boiled egg eat?
and the Vader likes his steaks this thick.
Yeah.
Yes, this thick. You gotta remember where my camera's at. This thick, yes. And it's gotta be charred, so it.
So it matches. Well, no, then he'd actually accidentally bite his hand or something.
No, because he pulls his mask off and he looks at the hard-boiled egg and say, "Here's the Force. You look like me."
Probably linguine. He could just put his mask down to the plate and suck it up through the grill and be all.
Yeah. Well, maybe he just flips up and he just throws shit in.
Oh yeah.
All that stuff.
My dogs were doing ultimate fighting, and this one jumped on the bed and was getting ready to pounce on the beagle who was on the floor, and the beagle was getting ready to attack her. And I'm like, no, Gizmo has the higher ground. Don't do it, Sally. But he likes to just dive off and attack.
Yeah, the higher ground, you just have gravity on your side. It's just.
Yep.
It's the same with sailing ships, whichever side had the wind in their favor, was the.
Yeah. Oh, your clock's screwed up. Oh, there we go.
So I spend all week looking forward to this night. And then after about an hour of this, I look forward to going to bed.
Yeah.
I've suggested knocking it down to 2 hours, but
How are you to suggest it? Because a lot of times you don't even come up, or you'll stay 2 hours.
yeah, I follow my own suggestion.
I think the people who stay the 3 hours should have that. I'm just giving you a hard time, Putt.
Ooh, electric lights.
Yeah. And asterisks. Look at the
Yep.
asterisks.
That's kind of like, why is there small print all over my house?
And they got the
Ooh,
door,
look at that.
the door.
First
And
6
oh
months
my
for
God.
$9.99 with an asterisk.
There you go. There's an exercise thingamajig.
Why
Oh,
is
how
there
do
a
we-
plane on the wall? That looks like a bug. Like a plane
It's a
bug.
plain bug.
Lots of plane bugs. When he's
Now,
at
you
school,
can
I
definitely
just
tell
got
this was made in the 60s because the kid doesn't have a cell phone in his hand and watching it.
Yeah. Well, nobody does.
Oh, I miss the 60s, even though it's just an embryo. Hey, Wendy said school just started back, so as a teacher, I get it. Being ready to crash by 8ish.
Excuse me.
I think my
And
sleep
Naps.
schedules stayed about the same. It's been such a, it's been such a strange. I can't help but think because I've been in this house so long now. I don't know if I've ever been in a house this long before. And it kind of it makes the time run together, but it seems like when I first moved here, it was like almost a whole different person. It was like a whole different life. It was it's like it's been so long, but it hasn't. And there's things like I can't believe I used to do this. I can't believe I used to do that. And it's like like I can't believe I didn't used to something that you should do but you didn't do. Like I can't believe I didn't clean behind the baseboard. Something stupid, but something that should be obvious. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Poop
But it's
regularly.
do what?
Poop regularly.
Yeah.
Something you should do, but you might lose track of.
Well, when I had that cancer thing, I wasn't able to do that for like just poop blood for like a week. That's like a sign. God gives you signs, and that was a sign, and I should have taken it. And I'm really lucky that it wasn't worse because I let that go on like a year.
Yeah, that's a clue.
Yeah. Well, you know
You
what?
ju-
It
you
was just
just
I figured it was
well,
I figured it was just turning 50. It was just turning 50. So
or it was just because of that damn rolling pin.
Yeah.
I would think that would do the opposite effect. No, I've actually never stuck a rolling pin up my butt. I got that from Putt.
He would
Because
do
I was saying I was saying BabbleGab is more fun than and he said sticking a rolling pin up your rectum, and Tony got so mad that it became a precious. It's in my precious moment timeline. I can't wait to share it one day. I have to find it. I had the precious moment timeline got so big. It's like over 11 or 12 hours. It got so big that it ended up crashing the program. So I have to put it in, I have to put it in two different files now, like like basically the Putt era and after the Putt era. And it's like, it makes it complex because you can't like copy a video file from one project to the other. So it's going to make it complex to find the old Putt stuff. I'm going to have to render it out and put it, it's going to make it harder to do now. Because I
well,
use
I mean, the easy part of that is the putt era, you probably have hours and hours and hours of material. The after putt era, you probably have 10 minutes worth of material.
Yeah.
So
No, it's actually kind of the opposite. We've got a lot of material the last year, a lot of stuff. I don't know what's different in the past year.
Well, we've had
you did. Darren like puts this. No, actually, we do have a lot of stuff. That's what I mean.
because
Even the
we've had a full
project,
crew almost every show for the last year or so.
it makes a difference. And yeah, of course, Darren, of course, it made a difference.
I'm not saying that I'm particularly precious, but I've been here the last year.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of alluding to.
Screw you guys.
Yeah.
The dog's going nuts.
I'm just glad I can recognize a dog. Usually I get it backwards or something's cutting off the video and it looks like Darren's kissing the dog's butt or the dog's butt's in the air, but it turns out it's his ear.
Yeah.
You say, ooh, but I'm going to put that as a precious moment because it was the funniest thing. Darren was like rubbing the dog's, neck or whatever, and the dog's face was in his face, but the dog's head was cut off by the blue screen thing that zoomed, and it looked like Darren's, like the butt was right in Darren. It looks so funny. Oh, that looks like one of those Einstein paintings, of all the clocks. The guy with his arms hanging out, with his arms and legs out, like doing the
Leonardo da
circuit.
Vinci?
Same difference. Putt had some stuff like that. Putt had some drawings like that. Remember?
Putt had a lot of drawings of a lot of things.
Putt is a good art. A lot of people don't realize how good an artist Putt was and that he was a professional artist.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the problem with Putt was that he wouldn't really share a lot of his work. Or it wasn't that he wouldn't share it. I just don't think he hung on to it.
He sold a lot of his stuff.
Well, that's, you can make copies for yourself. There were such things I wanted him to share with us because he was such a good artist. And it's like he just didn't hang on to anything. Darren and Putt came up with a fake, like a fictitious band as a joke thing called like Living Sludge. And it had all these silly song titles. And it was a whole page of things they came up together in art class. And Darren showed it to me and I thought it was a riot. And then he just threw it in the trash. And I rescued it out of the trash. I think I still got it, darn.
His original band name was a moniker he used for decades. We actually came up with it in his garage on Tucson Street there, which was Cement Pizza.
Yeah, he still used that. I think he's still known by that. And also Atomic Vomit.
Got some lightning going on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that in my window too. So that was a big strike. I think that there is like a world record, like a strike distance. 70 miles or some kind of.
Yeah, lightning can arc through the air for a good distance.
Yeah.
Fanboy Expo's Saturday.
Yay.
Yep.
And I still haven't gotten tickets or anything. I don't know.
Fell over. Oh, there's the other dog.
There's the other dog.
Fat dog.
Sally.
Damn, darn, that's a pudgy ass dog.
Oh, you should have seen her back when she was fat. She's down about 15, 20 pounds.
Wow. How does a stray dog get that fat? Usually they get skinny, stray dogs.
I don't know.
I wonder what her story is. You ever wonder what their story is?
Oh, Wendy had the lightning too.
They were a pair. So there was a big fat stray beagle hanging out with a tiny little chihuahua. And
Yeah, but they might have they might have met on the streets,
Yeah. Hey, Ethos.
Hi, Ethos. How you doing?
I figure it's a Shrek donkey situation. This one's the donkey.
Kind of looks like
a Pumbaa and Timon, situation.
Oh, I don't think they're gay, are they? Because one's a girl and one's a boy.
Correct.
Of course, I don't know. I don't think all that gay stuff, but it was Disney, so who the heck knows?
Oh, I don't know if their fame has stretched across the country, but there was this pair of bald eagles that lived up in the mountains above LA, and they had a webcam on them, and everybody they ended up naming them and all that stuff. And they had a couple of eaglets. So, they'd lay an egg, and sometimes the egg wouldn't hatch, and everybody'd get down. And, the egg hatched, yay! And then the birds grew up. And, well, the female somehow got into a fight with something and ended up at an animal hospital. and for like weeks and weeks and weeks, it finally died. And then the male eagle is still there around, hanging around the nest. And then another eagle shows up. And there's this whole Facebook post about, what we didn't know if it was a female eagle or a male eagle, blah, 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 blah. But the male eagle actually will know if it's a male or a female eagle.
So they're
Just
different.
kind of the way we know,
They don't have to ask what the eagle identifies as.
Yeah, it's like you don't know that the eagle does not subscribe to Mother Jones. The eagle knows a male eagle from a female.
Well, everybody knows that eagles and birds are all female.
Yeah.
And Wendy says, "Did you adopt them together? Darn, that's awesome." Yes, he did. Well, I can't speak for him, but I'm sure you'll have the same answer. Yeah.
Well, you can, but he's sitting right there, so you might save time.
Yeah. They came together. They were a pair.
Well, they were in the same case, same pin, right?
Yeah.
No, they had now to continue on with your story, Tony, they actually had a webcam watching an eagle nest down here in Florida, a bald eagle nest. And they had it going on for several years. And then one year, a snake came up and ate the eaglets while the eagle was gone. And people just fucking...
Wow, that's at least it's got on video, because that's like a 1 in a million shot to have them. What was it? Was it one of those pythons that people let go, their pet pythons, and they get real big? What kind of snake would eat an eagle? It seems like it'd be the opposite.
That's a felony.
Yeah.
Did they track down the
snake?
Yeah. I've had 2 birds for 6 years, and I don't know. We just guessed on their sexes.
Yeah, but the birds know. The birds know. The thing is, with this Facebook post was a book. It was, it was the whole damn screen, top to bottom text. Like, how do you tell? The male eagle was going to know if the damn thing's a male or a female.
You just put them in the cage together, darn, and see which one's on top.
Yeah, there you
go. Well, one of them likes building stuff, and one of them is more social.
Well,
and
there you go.
One of them's nice, and one of them wants to kill me.
Well, there you go.
The one that wants to kill me and demands a goodnight kiss is a female, and the calm, mellow one that just likes watching and hanging out and talking is a male.
There you go. Did you miss the? Know if our audience saw Tony's background there.
All right. Which one of us is most likely to clap when the plane lands? I'm going with Timmy.
Why would I clap when a plane lands?
Probably Tim, yeah.
Why would I do that?
Well, if he comes in sideways and he's doing all this kind of crap, and wee, and then he brings it down, and he all don't die, then yeah.
Because I think me and Tony are the least likely to ever ride in a plane.
I haven't been up in one in 25 years.
Yeah, so that leaves you 2.
I'm just going back in time to when families could go to the actual boarding gate and meet you there or send you off. It was, people don't realize how sucky the world has gotten.
Oh, that Alton Brown food show. He keeps going to the grocery store to get ingredients and stuff. And since that was like 99, I think that was the peak for grocery store item variety. I think that's when they had the most different items.
Yeah, I think 99, basically the world was the best it would ever get. Movies were the best they ever got. And then, Cheney and all that with 9/11, it kind of just ruined everything. But
what year was? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What year was
what year was it when they had the like Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump?
94.
94. Was it Jurassic Park? It was like
93, 94. Yeah.
6 different movies the same summer that were all. Each one was better than anything that's come out this century for the most part.
Yeah, although Jurassic Park, I didn't care for it much. It was okay. It was like for like one of the first CG movies, they did okay with the CG, but
You were
It's
just
kind of
mad.
like PlayStation, like the best video games were PS1, the PlayStation 1 when they first came out. The games were great, and then they just got progressively shittier. It's like, uh,
Like I
but
said, I still play Rebellion. So that
That
tells you.
pissed me off today because the version that's available is the last patch for it, and it
Yeah.
just crashes every so often. And if
Mm.
you haven't saved it in 20 minutes, tough luck. So it crashed.
Yeah, it always crashes when you're about to start a battle.
Yep, yep. I thought about seeing
That's
if Claude can decompile it and fix it.
Mm.
that's why I save it like every 25 days.
Yeah, I normally do, but sometimes I forget.
I was
Like
Claude once.
Sandy Claus.
No, just Claude. I when we were visiting Martin, is this an older English gentleman? We had dinner at his house
Mm.
last week, and it's like I was like, refresh me. I know you've said it before, but what part of England are you from? And he says,
He said more than that.
it sucks getting old. Uh, but
God.
yeah, I have whatever.
Manchester.
Well, he said Manchester, but I was just like, is that around where Birmingham? And he kind of rolled his eyes like I was an idiot. And
Yeah.
he's like, no, that's Midlands. Manchester is north. And I'm like, sorry, I don't keep up with France. But uh, so I kind of redeemed myself by saying I started singing Manchester, England, England, which I figured he wouldn't know. He's like, oh, yeah, across the Atlantic. He started singing along with me, and he's like, "That's from here." And I'm like, "Yeah, I played Claude in here." Uh, so I redeemed myself by thinking that Birmingham was in the north of England, for Guy's sake. Uh,
He's an English American history professor.
Mm.
My most
Or
expensive
the,
well,
watch
he
I own.
teaches
or
he taught American history in England.
no, here. And except for I was going to ask him, do you refer to it as the war of ingrateful colonials?
Did you say that really?
No,
Oh,
I thought about it. I try not to say much to most of the time because then
Yeah.
you don't say something stupid if you don't say anything at all.
it's more fun to say something stupid though.
Yeah.
The memories are when you say something stupid, it makes memories.
Memories.
I
So
don't
this is my most expensive watch I own right now.
What is that?
Ah,
That's a Tudor.
Timmins. Oh,
Is that the brand? No,
Yeah,
didn't you say
Tudor.
that was
Tudor
like
is
that was
actually
it was like a Rolex, but like a lower Rolex, right?
yes, Tudor's made by the Rolex company, but they're their own company, but they're under the Rolex umbrella.
Kind of like a LaSalle back in like the 40s. That was
yeah,
like the Cadillac made it, but it was like their budgeter brand.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Except Tudors are becoming damn near as expensive as Rolexes.
and Kendra said, speaking of movies, when are you going to send me some more home videos, Dad?
That's about it. I've got others, but they're like really long and
Ooh.
nothing happens. So I'll keep looking, but those are the best ones.
Yeah, I want to see them. Uh,
I warn you, I used to be damn good looking.
Mm.
Just watching
Look at
those
those
old movies,
chemtrails.
and I saw myself, and I say, I'd do them.
I was wearing a mask most of the time, so that was a plus. I don't think I started looking good until I was about like uh late 20s probably. Uh and I don't
So
mean good, but looking okay where I wasn't ashamed of myself.
so you're like Roger Waters.
Yeah, I grew into my ugliness. I I cuz until I was 24, I was, just I was really really just skin and bones. I was 6'2" and like 145 pounds. So I
And
started.
Go ahead.
So I started. It's when I lived at your place, Darn. When you moved, we switched houses, and I got this at Sears. I got a rubber band gym set, like a weight training set, but instead of weights, it was rubber bands.
Mm.
And then I started taking weight shakes. And they always say weight shakes don't work. Well, they don't, because if you only take, because they will take away your appetite. But no, you got to eat like you're normally eating and take the shakes, and that's what people don't understand. So I went from 145 pounds in 6 months. I gained 40 pounds. So I look like a whole different person just in that 6 month time.
After I got divorced, I got a weight machine with a Smith machine. So you could do actual bench presses, but it was on a rail with stoppers on it. So you could do it safely by yourself. And I did that for a year. And that was the first time I was ever kind of buff.
It was nice, isn't it? Nice feeling when you can't put your arms all the way down.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, oh, I can't bend it any farther than that.
Yeah, isn't it nice? And then I remember Michelle, Darren's wife, had a company picnic at Metro Park on the river in Jacksonville, and it's back when it's when I was getting buffed and gained the weight, and I got a beard, and my hair was long then, and they had one of those things where you hit the hammer to mallet, and you got to ring the bell with the thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, the old muscle man challenge. And I got it. I got the bell. I mean, I was like, shit, I'm no longer the 90-pound weakling anymore. So it was kind of a nice feeling. There was even a big black guy that was running the thing, and he was just smiling, nodding his head, and I was like, yeah, I'm Mr. Fucking Clean now. You want to step on my fucking dick? What happened to Gottschalk?
The thing
No
about
idea.
that is only skinny people are bothered by it.
Yeah.
I guarantee nobody else looked at you and thought, well, that guy's real skinny.
Well,
that
you
was,
didn't go to school with me.
Yeah. No, it was Jimmy Stewart. He tried to join the Army Air Force when World War II broke out. They didn't want him because he was 6'3" and weighed 142 pounds.
Jimmy Stewart?
Yep.
Yeah, I could see
And
it.
so he was considered too underweight to be in the Army Air Force.
Wasn't
And
he
so-
also considered too tall too to fit in some
Yeah, no,
cockpits?
they didn't care about that so much. But so he like lifted weights or he just ate a bunch or whatever the hell and got over the minimum standard.
Oh, it's hard. I got to tell you, when you're skinny, it's hard to gain
Yeah.
anything. Like I had to cheat my body with the weight shakes. But what do you think of me now? Look at me now.
Yeah. You got a
Yeah,
mouth and
okay.
your front wing there. You have a wing.
Hey,
mouth.
what do you think? What do you think I did? I think I did okay with the eyes, because what can you do with an F1
That's
car?
true. I
that
couldn't
doesn't
find them
fit-
for a while, and I finally realized they were back there by the.
Yeah, because
Eyes in the
F1,
windshield.
F1s generally don't have headlights, so it's like I had to I don't want to be blind, so I did it this way. I think it works out. And Wendy said, "Home movies are the best. I need to take mine off the mini tapes and get them transferred to my grown kids. Y'all know how to do that. Yeah, you go
Legacy
online
box.
and let me see. I'm not 290 pounds, and I feel pretty bad about it. Oh, sorry, Etho. That's not. Well, it depends how big you are. If you're like 4'2", then it could be a problem, a health problem. But if you're like 7'9", you'd be like Big Bad John. He weighed
Yeah.
like 245 and was
So
like.
Wendy, I used a company called Legacy Box, and you can find them online. They transferred all of our 8mm and 16mm and VHS tapes and everything over to a digital format and put it on a memory stick or whatever format.
Uh-oh.
Is that him or me?
Yeah, he's roboting.
Okay.
Great in between frames shot there.
Want to put it on and
Yeah, I had them transfer all my high 8 and mini DV and stuff to VHS for me.
I would, but I don't want them seeing some of the stuff on there.
It's all robots anyway.
Yeah,
I'm getting-
well, even like the photomat, they're actually looking at because they got nothing to do in there. They're looking at your pictures and jerking off to your grandma and your aunt and stuff in the photomat. Uh,
Photo man.
yeah, I think I've said this story before. I know I've said this story before, but that's all we do is repeat ourselves here. But
Yeah.
so my grandma and my mom, they thought it was the funniest thing in the world because uh, they got their photos back. This is back when you had to develop your photos at Albertsons or wherever, and they got their photos back from, I guess, Safeway, and they're going through them, and there were these two photos that didn't belong to them, and it was one that looked like a school teacher, and the other it was the same school teacher getting out of the shower butt naked. Her boobies
Nice.
and her this and that and everything's showing. She's like laughing. So her husband evidently took this photo of her, or boyfriend, or whoever, son, daughter.
Student.
Yeah, principal. So someone took this photo of her, and the only thing we could think happened is the people that were in the photo lab got such a kick out of it that they showed the other employees there, and they put it back in the wrong packet. So I've got those pictures still, but but here's I'll share them sometime on the show. But no, but what I told them to do is, well, do the right thing and put those pictures on the bulletin board in the lobby of Safeway so that person can get their pictures back.
Yeah, or all the local schools.
Yeah, there you go.
When I first started with the town of Fairplay, it was only like me and 3 other officers, and we had to use our own like personal cameras for like crime scenes, so you go get them, developed. You'd have a picture of your kid's birthday party on the roll of film, and then a crime scene. So
Nice.
I'm sure people went, "Ooh, this party went south fast."
Yeah,
Kind of like the
I-
Signs movie.
kids didn't like the presents, and I expect credit.
So those who don't know, which is
Has anybody
all of
ever
you,
had a kid that liked their present?
I liked I think Darren and I both liked it. I don't think we'd ever been disappointed on our birthdays
Yeah.
until like I moved to Colorado where everything sucked.
Yeah.
But I think that wasn't just Colorado, it was just the 80s in general. But
I was disappointed one Christmas because Mom let us open one present, and I opened some, and it was headphones, and I was hoping for toys. So I was bummed, but I ended up loving those headphones and used the hell out of them.
yeah, Mom gave me her Sony CD player, portable CD player, and I loved that thing. Or it was RCA. I don't remember, but I loved it. Yeah, it was RCA. That's what it was. When RCA actually made stuff and wasn't a stink brand. But I loved that thing. And then one day, this is when I lived with my mom, and one day it was gone. Did you see the CD player?
Giddy.
And she's like, what CD player? I'm like, she didn't sound like that, but it's like, the portable CD player. She's like, oh, I gave it to Kendra. I'm like, but you gave it to me. It was mine. So she did that a lot. And so I had to, so I knew we were part Indian because all the Indian give her stuff. So I ended up buying another one, and it was a Sony CD player, portable. But get this, Sony had a bright idea because I guess they were in with the like the copyright lobby, where they put in something in the CD player where if you had a homemade disc, at the end of the track, it would blast static at full level. And so what do I usually have my CDs? It's for demos of the songs I'm doing, because this was back in the old days. You had to make a CDR of stuff. So I'd be listening to my song demos and all of a sudden get blasted to where I should have sued them. Honest to gosh, I should have sued them for hearing damage. What a bullshit kind of thing. I hope
Sony-
Well, there was a time
Sony
when
sucks.
Sony's CDs, if you put them in the computer to play them, music CDs, they would put a rootkit on your computer.
Mhm.
Yeah, Sony is one of those big shitty companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Mic-
AOL.
Micro, or Microsoft is another.
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks for console gaming. Which sucky company do you want to go with?
Wendy said being still, she said, "Ooh, that's gross, Timmy," to think about it, and I'm not sure what that was. It could have been
The
anything.
photo.
Foot photos.
You were talking about photos earlier.
Yeah.
What, having a school teacher in the nude? It's not that gross. It's like,
Yeah, it depends on the teacher.
yeah. Van Halen had a song about it.
Mm.
I told you this before, I know, but it's worth repeating, I guess, if we're talking about the paranormal. When I lived in Jacksonville, Darren remembers this guy. He's a guy named Billy. He wasn't a very good guy. But he had kind of hijacked apology. He kind of, I don't know how to describe it. He somehow was part of our band, and I don't know how it happened because we didn't even know the guy, and then he was part of the band. And so I was driving to his trailer park to practice, and for some reason, I kept thinking I had "Hot for Teacher" in my head. Have you seen Junior's grades? And it kept going through my head. And I don't know why. I'm not a Van Halen fan. I don't even like the song. And it wasn't playing on the radio or anything. It was just in my head. And I go to his house or his trailer, and I go up, and he opens the door and looks me in the face. Have you seen Junior's grades? I still get freaked out about that.
I've
That
done
was
that.
so odd. Where did that even come from? I mean,
Yeah.
it was so obscure.
I worked with, you remember Chaz? I worked with him at
Oh, yeah.
Hungry Howie's, and we had a discussion about, there was a, like, Major Tom, there was the Bowie song, but then there was another one, and neither one of us could remember anything about the other one. And then the next day we were working, and I was cutting pizzas or something, and then I yelled out 4-3, and then he joined in 2-1 Earth Below, and the manager's like, "What the are you doing?" Because I scared him, or we scared him.
Yeah, that's
But
scary.
and then then another one, we had that roofer we worked with, forget his name, blonde guy, drank whole milk. But we were at the I think it was Pecan Park. I'm not sure. It might have been a different flea market. And then both of us started singing I think it was started singing Heart Turns to Stone somewhere in the middle of the song at the exact same instant. And we hadn't heard it on the way up or anything. So that happens.
Yeah, it's weird. There's like a mental connect or something. Uh, and yeah, I don't remember I remember everything about the guy except his name. I'm terrible with names. I remember he liked women with long blonde hair down to their ass and itty bitty titties. I remember I was riding in his Sunbird in the back seat with his what he called old lady. He said it's an old lady if you're married, and it's an old lady if it's a girlfriend. So his old lady and him were in the front, and I was in back with her sons. And her sons were just like, "We love each other. We're brothers." And he's like, "Shut up back there." And one time we were, so this is a redneck roofer. One time we're on the way home from a job, and he tells Darren we're at a Little Champ gas station, and he's like, he tells Darren to get him an old mill, and Darren misunderstood and got him a whole milk.
Oh.
And that was legendary. See, I remember everything about this guy except his name. It's
Yeah.
like I'm terrible with names.
Yeah.
And his dad owned a canvas shop. They did like boat covers and stuff.
Oh, really?
I think it was on the edge of Sin City.
Okay, we were kind of on the edge of Sin City. Sin City was on the other side of Atlantic, but all I can think is Jeff. But then I can think that maybe Jeff was that brother that, or the son of the people that own the roofing company. See, it all kind of.
I was thinking Jeff too, or Jerry or something. Maybe Jeff, but there could be two Jeffs. There's more than one.
Or
people
Mac or Buddy.
Yeah.
I didn't like the roofer Jeff. I mean, I didn't like the Jeff that was part of the company because he showed up one time with a '70s El Camino, and he gave Darren a ride in it down the end of our dead end street, and he didn't even offer to give me a ride, and I didn't like him ever since then
I liked him well enough. He was okay.
until he fired you.
Yeah. Well, that kind of sucked because when I first started there, He'd be like, all right, it's 11 o'clock. It's time to go surfing. So we'd knock off and surf for a few hours and then come back and work another hour or two. And then he'd got talking to by his dad or something. And so I got fired for taking off to surf during the heat of the day.
You know what?
And
You
which is okay, I guess.
No, it's not. It's not okay because we call those in Alabama. We called a come to Jesus meeting that you would give employees before you would fire them. You have a come to Jesus meeting. He owed you that. He's like he should have said, "Look, the rules have kind of changed. We can't really get away with that anymore. Please don't do that." He could have said that.
I think I was slacking and everything. I
No,
wasn't.
you still deserve to come to Jesus meeting. Otherwise, he's a coward.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I don't even know. Was it him that fired me?
That's what you said because I was like, well, it figures. He didn't even offer to give me a ride in his stupid El Camino. You know, it's got a place in the back I could have ridden. Stupid ass.
I don't remember being pissed about it.
Yeah, you weren't too upset. I think you. How can you get upset about losing a roofing job for God's sake? That's about as low as you can get. I mean, I think the only lower you can get is like scrubbing septic tanks or something.
No, roofing wasn't bad back in the day, especially if you were doing new construction.
It was okay. I did it for 6 months after I got out of high school with Darren. It was okay. I worked for the same company he did. I did okay. I don't remember getting yelled at or anything. I don't know if they liked me, but I at least I didn't get fired or anything. Even though I fell off that roof. Oh my gosh, oh gosh.
Be
It
right
was
back,
it was
guys.
that guy that I'm about to share the story of my life and he leaves. Now he's just a
That was
I'll be
weird.
right back. Hold that thought.
I fell off a
He
bunch.
turned into like a black cloud and then disappeared.
Yeah, that was weird. He got swallowed up by a black butthole in the watch.
So did you know praying mantises are Muslim?
They don't
I know.
actually pray.
No, they do. They face Mecca.
Oh.
I watched one once
How do you know where Mecca
Yeah.
is?
because that's where the mantis was facing. I figure it's east of here, right?
Depends where you are.
Or west, I guess. It's not north or south.
How do you know?
That's true. But anyway,
Pretty
wouldn't it
close.
suck if they were like 12 feet tall?
Yeah, I got to thinking that we're really lucky that insects aren't bigger than we are because that would
Yeah.
that would give a whole new level of suck to life, wouldn't it?
Yeah. We would have to kill them all. All humans would just have to agree.
I think we would have to, wouldn't we? Did you hear somebody said about ants? Like if just the weight of every ant in the world would, if you put them together, would be just like almost something we couldn't even comprehend or something.
Oh, okay.
If suddenly every ant in the world appeared in your stomach, you would get sick.
Yeah.
I think so.
No, it's like Spider-Man, you know. I always say, is he sick? Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood. But having radioactive blood would make you very, very sick.
Unless it was temporary for like a scan or something.
Yeah.
They had to do a heart scan on me and they made me drink radioactive sludge and run. I think I was walking.
And
on
he
a
didn't turn into
treadmill.
a spider.
No, I didn't get superpowers, but they made me walk on a treadmill till I was tired. And for the rest of the day, I felt
For
really
about
good.
10 seconds.
Yeah, it was a minute or two. I
Oh,
don't know
okay.
if it was the exercise or what, but I felt good the rest of the day. I'm like, maybe I ought to do that more.
You know, I've found that exercising does make you feel good. It makes you feel better afterwards.
That's weird because I get ready to go to work, during the week when it's the evenings, and God, it is the last thing I want to do is get up and get on the bicycle and go down to, and then I ride down to work and I actually feel better after the bike ride.
It is. We're supposed to do that. So God's Chuck.
Oh,
So to get back to the story, so back when I was roofing, we worked at a place that was in Arlington, and it went right down to the swamp, and that was a new construction house, a big house, and the back of the house was bigger than the front because it went down this terrace, and I remember being toward the back of the house and thinking, wow, I would hate to fall from up there. It was just like this nook that went, off the roof, and it went way far down. And then there were some sawhorses and some things, but I was just looking at the height and it's like, I'd hate to fall from there. So I think it was the next morning. It might have rained or it might have been dew, but the roof was wet. And I went and we'll just call the redneck guy Jeff. And I went up to the top of the roof, had my hammer. I was ready to get started for work, and I started to slide down that nook because that nook was just like it was like a slide. So I'm going down and I can't stop, and there's nothing I can do. I can't grab the chimney. And I just flew right off. And that was right where I was fearing I would hate to fall from there, and that's exactly where I went. And I just kind of blanked out, and I was just laying on the ground, and I had a cinder block about a couple inches from my head, and a styrofoam cup on the other side of my head. And I just got up. I'm walking around, and Jeff's at the top of the. He's like, it's like, what the fuck, man? What he didn't talk like that because he's a redneck, but he's just like, you were just on the roof, and I'm like, yeah, I fell off. And he's like, you okay? Why didn't you say something? Why didn't you scream? And I'm just like, wasn't even on my mind. I just like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I didn't even feel a thing. I guess that's one of the nice things about being 20, or 19 or 20, because
Oh, yeah.
boy, I just
Back in those days, you recovered from stuff like that. Nowadays,
I probably bounced. It's like another time, same guy. It was another new construction, and I was on a garden ledge made of bricks, and I was talking to him about something, and I didn't realize it, but I was balancing on a cup like a stack of bricks. I was balancing on it and didn't even think about it. And I'm like, look, and it was like coyote. Once I realized what the stupid thing I was doing, that's when they gave way because I'm like, what am I doing? And I looked down and next thing, the back of my head hits that garden ledge, the brick thing. That's where I landed, like back of my head first. And he's like, "Are you okay?" And I did like the dark helmet thing. Yeah, yeah, I'm fine. I was kind of a little daisy.
Mhm.
Yeah, it must be nice. Now I just get out of bed and my foot hits the ground, and it's like now I got plantar fasciitis. It's because I get it's just like
Yeah, if I got out of bed and tripped over the dog and fell, I'd be like that final trimmer that fell off the
Yeah.
cliff. Burst open.
I saw a critical drinker had a thing about trimmers today, and that's what he was talking about. It's something I never noticed. Is at the beginning of it, Earl is asleep in the bed of the truck, and he scares it, saying there's a stampede, and Earl falls out of the truck in his sleeping bag. He falls out of the back of the truck, and that's what he did at the end with the worm falling off the thing. He did the same trick or whatever. And he says, I learned that with the stampede thing, and it was a homage to him falling out and looking like a slug falling out of the tailgate.
Ah,
No,
And a
really.
critical drinker did, I never even realized, I never made the connection, and he did. He was saying how genius that movie was, and how that, because normally he hates everything, but if something's good, like when he kind of discovered Jaws, he'll talk about this, the genius of everything, and what makes it a great movie. And this was Tremors. If you haven't seen The Critical Drinker on YouTube, I recommend him. He's the best movie critic out there as far as being funny. He's a Scottish guy that's always like drunk when he does this. But it's good. He's good.
It's redundant. Redundancy is strange.
Yeah.
Scottish guy.
And I don't know if it's Wendy said,
One would assume he's drunk.
yeah.
right. And Wendy said, I still feel being born in the 70s, raised in the 80s was the absolute best. I think I might have said that before, but in case I didn't. It was. I hated the 80s, but it's at least there wasn't social media and stuff.
I think I've talked about this, not here, maybe not. I think that the decade where you're in your 20s generally ends up being your favorite decade, even if it doesn't seem fun at the time.
kind of. I feel like I've wasted that whole decade of the 90s. I feel like
Yeah.
I just lived with my mom most of the time. I worked at basically a shit job. I mean, but
You were
I
you were like one of the original Gen Zs. Live with your mom, get a shit job.
yeah,
That's
but at
kind
least I at least had a job and paid my mom rent, and it was a mutual thing. She needed me to keep the house. So, I mean, personally, I would have rather just moved away, but she always guilted me into staying there and helping her because she was going to lose her house otherwise. But uh, no, I mean, we did house improvements for like a decade and made barely anything. But learned a lot of skills. I wouldn't have been able to roof my own house and do a lot of stuff on this house otherwise.
well, I
And
was right
I
there
always
with
I wanted to be a rock star, and waste my life away. What darn?
I was right there with you wasting the 90s too.
Well, you worked at the same
Yeah.
place. You made more than I
Yeah.
did, but still, it was still the same kind of deal. Uh, after you left, Darren, it kind of changed a little bit. It's like he's kept hiring people, so I became the foreman over like 7 employees at one time,
Yeah.
um, which was okay. I didn't mind. It was interesting being a boss.
Is this the place that you worked at where I looked up the guy that owned it a year or two ago and he actually flew feed there in Jacksonville?
Yeah, he floofied. Yeah, you told us he floofied by looking him up because I was wondering because he was a cheapskate, but he was a good guy. He was a good boss. Other than just not paying us what we were worth, he hardly ever yelled at us. He was pretty laid back. He's a guy that looked like Dick Van Patten, but
I don't think he was making a ton either.
I
So
don't
it's not
think
like,
so. I used to,
not like he was twirling his mustache and polishing his monocle or anything.
well, if you listen to like his son-in-law who had worked with us sometimes, he was like, he's pocketing the money and this and that. He's taking and he made him sound like a snake. But it wasn't until I was about to move out of our house after Gracie and I were married, and I hadn't seen him for a couple of years, and he came and gave us an estimate um, for do some termite repair. And he was driving this same Corolla he'd bought years before, and it was pink, this faded pink, like one of those Barbie Corvettes that was left out in the sun for it. It looked awful. I'm like, I don't think this guy's got any money. He did a reverse mortgage on his house. I'd never even heard of that before. So yeah, I don't think he was. Uh, I just don't think he was good with money. But I don't know what even caused this discussion now.
You're talking about your jobs.
Oh, about
Um,
wasting the 90s. Yeah. Yeah. I, I wanted to be a rock star, and that's why I didn't. There was a lot of things, in school back then, in high school, they didn't prepare us for college. They didn't say anything about student loans. I figured you either had to have a football scholarship or rich parents to get into college. And I think a lot of kids did because they didn't tell us about student loans. They didn't tell us that we could do it, or they didn't tell us about community college. They didn't say anything like that. I knew nothing about that
Well,
until I was like 40.
back in the mid to late '80s or through the mid '90s, you could go to community college of Aurora and pay like $100 per class, and that was about it.
Yeah, but they never said that in school. They never told us that.
I guess they figured everybody'd heard of college.
I heard at college you had to be a football superstar and get a scholarship, or you had to have an A. You had to be a perfect A student to get into college. I figured, I didn't know. None of us do. None of us knew that.
they did.
College.
The counselor did call me in and told me that I was possibly not going to graduate, or maybe not. But according to the tests, I had one of the highest IQs in the school. And they said, "What are you planning on doing?" And I said, "I'm going to be a manager at Burger King. They make a lot of money." And I think she said, "Okay, never mind. You can go back to class."
You would that she did a bad job then. And Wendy said, "You're right, Timmy. I graduated school in '93, and they totally didn't prepare us. That's how it was then." And and it's like I figured you either had to like be a perfect egghead or a football scholarship kind of guy, or you had to have rich parents to do it. They didn't tell us about student
Or
loans or community college. They said nothing about that.
That's why I
on
went
the
into the
on,
army to get the GI Bill. They
on
paid
the
everything.
on the other hand, now they tell everybody has to go to college, and so what if
Yep.
it's a mortgage payment, or not a mortgage payment? It's a mortgage. It's like
Yeah,
buying
I
a
paid
house.
like my tuition for just my associates was like 45 grand.
You could have been worse.
You could
Yeah,
be
it could have been.
65 and still paying on your student loans.
Yeah.
But yeah, they should tell you about community college. I wouldn't have done it because I was done with school.
I didn't go to
What?
community college because they were called the Gamecocks.
Huh.
And
Well, there
honestly,
you
that's
go.
why I didn't go there because I didn't want to be known as a Gamecock. It's like stupid.
Who was that?
It was in Jacksonville, Alabama. That was the closest community college. I probably should have gone. I probably would have gotten a better deal out of
Oh,
it.
the other one of us that went to college right out of high school was Putt.
Yeah.
Figures.
It's like Red Dwarf.
Oh, there you go.
Rimmer Lister's talking about college, and Rimmer's like, or he was talking about when he went to art college, and he goes, and Rimmer goes, "How did you get into art college?" Same way everybody gets into art college. I failed my exams and applied.
Yeah. No, there
I'll be
was
right back.
a community college when I was a little kid up in Los Altos Hills, California. There's a community college down at the bottom. We were up in the hill, and then there was a road that twisted and turned and went down to the bottom of the hill. There was something called Foothill College. And I found out like recently, like within the last 2 years, that while I was a little kid up there, Adrienne Barbeau, remember the actress with the big boobies? She was going to that college.
All right, there, Tony. Sweet.
Yeah.
Who was she married to again? Adrienne Barbeau. She was married to.
I don't know, but she was in the Toxic Avengers.
Was it John
and all that shit.
Carpenter?
Jim
I don't know.
Barbeau.
No.
What?
Jim
No,
Barbeau.
no.
Fred.
But she was in.
Barbeau.
She played one of the dude's mothers in the Drew Carey show.
The girl on the Drew Carey show. I miss her. She was cute.
What, the huge
She was
one?
also in Escape from New York.
Not the scary one. The brunette.
No, Steve probably went for the big one with the makeup.
Yeah.
I actually watched that a week or two ago. Escape from New York, and I was like, wow, I watched this movie a lot when it was on HBO back in the 80s, and now I'm watching it, and I wish I would have never watched it again.
Yeah. I remember watching Escape from LA, and they had the one character in there. I'm like, that guy's kind of like a cheap knockoff of Matthew Broderick.
Oh.
And that was the first time I ever saw Steve Buscemi.
Ah,
What did you talking about me? You're all laughing.
yeah. Well, Steve Buscemi, he's how to be weird looking and make a career out of being weird looking.
He had that same disease Darren had.
Yeah,
Hotness.
weird looking disease.
Oh, Graves. Did he?
Mm.
I had the GI Bill out of the Army, and I still had to get student loans to finish my degree.
Yeah. I never
Well,
even
am I
finished my
thinking of
degree.
someone
I'm doing
different? I
this
thought
shit.
I thought I was talking about the guy with the kind of the crazy eyes.
Yeah, he's kind of got crazy eyes, but Graves' disease isn't the only thing that gives you crazy eyes.
Oh. So
Like Chihuahuas have crazy eyes. They have
Oh, yeah.
somniferous almond eyes, just like an alien, little gray
Yeah.
alien. They're hypnotic.
And those Pomeranians are so some of them are so, is it Pomeranians, or that they're so overbred that the eyes sometimes pop out?
Or is it
All the way.
it happened to Don Knotts.
Yeah.
Pugs are kind of like English cars. Seems like the English built pugs, except for they don't catch fire and start smoking.
Well, the
Yeah.
English bulldogs, my vet said she wishes they would just stop breeding them altogether and they'd go extinct because she said they have so much trouble.
Yeah.
But shit. I was gonna say something I can't remember. What were you said pugs, and what was right before pugs?
English
I was
bulldog.
saying
Pomeranian.
Pomeranians, but nobody ever heard of a Pomeranian, so I
We were
got
talking
shot
about
down.
Steve Buscemi and the Crazy Eyes.
Yeah, he's a Pomeranian.
He
I
was a
don't remember.
firefighter before he was an actor.
Yeah, and he jumped in on 9/11 and just went down to the local firehouse and just started doing fireman
really?
stuff.
Well,
I
I'm
like-
surprised he doesn't have lung cancer from all that asbestos.
I'm surprised he didn't get stabbed because he's always he got his throat slit. He got beat up just by random people, apparently. Or it could be gambling debts. But the stories made it sound like it wasn't people he knew.
Dang,
But he got better.
that's good. Seems like a good guy. So if you're wondering what's behind me, I'm actually in the living room of the house Darren and I initially grew up in Kansas City. Only I painted the walls and took the carpet off the stairs, and now there's a green shag carpet on the. But yeah, I used to play with cars on those stairs all the time. You can't see it because the picture's cropped, but the track bends up and goes up the stairs.
Ah,
Seems like we did that, didn't we?
Oh, you did all sorts of things, probably. I had my own room. Darren and I had our own rooms. And then one day my dad decided that my room was going to be his music room. So,
Well, who wouldn't?
yeah, what
I
can
don't
you do?
remember ever having our own rooms.
I do. I had that center room. I remember it a lot. But then I switched room. We shared a bunk bed in Darren's room, and I had a lot more fun in that room, and better memories than I did in my own room anyway.
So I got to be a good homosexual.
Yeah.
So back to college.
Remember when you stick that haunted house up your butt with the unappointed haunted house thing?
That wasn't intentional. Fell out of bed. So back to college, I think they ought to, for the most part, just do away with it and make everything apprenticeships.
Probably that's how it used to be.
Yeah. Did you know the back in the day, up until the last few centuries, the most high tech job was basically stonemasons.
Mhm.
So that's why they had their lodges and everything, is so they could all get together and talk about techniques
and drive little bitty cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when we were growing up, college meant more. It's like my mom's best friend, Becky, who's Rob is based off of her. She had that uppity kind of English accent, and she was from Kansas, and we figured it's because she went to college, because, college people, they use college words and big words, and they're smart people. And I think it was more like that back then. They didn't have like basket weaving degrees and stuff like now. So I think people who watch Apologia now, they might not even get the joke about Rob going to college now.
I think also back in the day there was a selection going on who went to college. And a lot of times, generally, it was smarter people who went to college. But then when they switched it to everybody has to go to college, then that kind of removed that sorting.
Well, maybe
Well, I
that's
remember having to explain. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hold that thought, Tony. Maybe that's what it was when we graduated school. Maybe that's why they didn't tell us about. Maybe there wasn't community college. I don't know what. Go ahead, Tony. I don't know what I'm talking.
Colleges when I was tiny, but no, I was talking to somebody about the Peter Gabriel song "Big Time," and he's talking about, I came from the small. People use small words. I want to go to the big city, the big time, where people use big words.
Yeah, it was a silly lyric.
Yeah, but I had to explain. There are people who think that, like, powerful, important people, they use big words. That's what makes them.
Well, what's even more asinine is that he thinks that people are smarter in the city
Yeah.
You know, Tony came up. He said something funny once about about Deliverance, and he said what he said. Tony said it was a movie about weird uh, country folk written by weird city folk.
Yeah.
That's probably more accurate than you think.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good description.
I had to give a like a one sentence review where I didn't have to. We were just talking about it on a thread, and they were talking about the human centipede. So I just did a quick review of it, and it was a smart, sexy summer romp.
Where did you put that review?
Oh, it was just
Yeah,
on
right up your.
a thread with some coworkers.
Oh, okay. I was just because I'm thinking of school at first, and I'm like, wait, did you see the movie?
No,
You know, I saw it. I was on Movie Chat, and they all of a sudden that the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey comes up in the that somebody's said something about that movie, and I'm like, I forgot all about that. I look, and the IMDb rating is like a 2 point something, and
yeah,
and somebody commented on it, saying this was awful. This was like something that high school friends would have done just to punk their teacher or something. This isn't like movie grade stuff. It's like high school stuff. And and all I could think is, how did that hit theaters then? Because it's like I put a lot into my movie, and the movies at the film festival that competed against me, they were great movies, and they'll never see a theater. So how did that stupid poo thing get all that promotion and get into theaters and stuff? I don't understand how a shitty movie like that does when there's actually good movies
because
out there.
the idea itself was pretty clever, and even if the execution sucked, it had a lot of word of mouth before it was ever even done. Is my
I
guess.
I enjoyed the shit out of that movie in Barcelona, the one about it was either French or Belgium, about those two little kids whose mother didn't come home, and they were trying to raise themselves. That was so well done, because that's definitely not a movie I would like, but it had me hooked. And that movie deserves to be more than just in a couple film festivals. Even that one I showed Darren was really good. I enjoyed it. The one about the smart guy.
Yeah, I like that.
It was good.
Oh, I hate smart guys.
It was a good movie.
Never met any.
If we were do movie nights again, or on Zoom, I'll have to show you that one, Tony. You might like it. Gutshot might even like it. Putt would have liked it. No, Putt would have complained that something that because
They need more big guys in rubber suits.
yeah, exactly.
Or
Concrete
some
suits.
weird Frankenstein's Army, some weird Russian movie or something.
Did you
Well,
watch that
there's
with
the
us?
Empire State Building. There's King Kong right
I've just
there.
heard talk about it all the time.
There's King Kong.
Yeah, King Kong. I think what made that so funny, because Putt said he highly recommended this movie because we were just gonna have a movie night and drink and go in Darren's basement and watch a dumb movie. And I don't know if he highly recommend. I think we might have been just looking on Netflix for something. And Putt's like, let's try he either said, let's try this one, or he might have seen it and said, well, why don't we watch this one? It was Frankenstein's Army, and it was like made in the Ukraine or something. And it was a bad movie, but it was okay.
Putt was
And-
notorious for bad movies.
Yeah, but we weren't trying to watch we were just having fun. And we had a good time. We had a good night. We were cutting up and have a few beers and then enjoyed the night. And Putt like profusely apologized. I'm so sorry for recommending the movie. I'm like, why? We had fun. It was it was a fun movie. It didn't have to be a good movie to have fun with friends and enjoy it. Sometimes bad movies make it more fun to have a little kind of a beer party.
Yeah.
Our marriage is the same way. Sure, you had a bad marriage, but it was some laughs for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Hey, darn, didn't we go with us that one time to that movie, that Eric the Viking or whatever the hell it was he took us to at that theater?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, you saw that in a theater?
It was me and my first wife, and it was Darn and his wife, and
Putt and Anna, I think.
Did you like it?
No.
Yeah. I liked it.
Darren, I think he showed it to me on VHS, and it was like it seemed like there were a few funny parts, and the rest of it was like it didn't really live up to the Python kind of bar,
Yeah,
I
but
guess.
that's how most funny movies are. If you can get a few funny parts, you're doing all right.
I would compare it to Rubber, where it starts out like the first couple minutes are hilarious, and you think, "Wow, I'm in," and then it gets gross or disturbing right after that. And it's
Yeah,
like, oh,
there's tires rolling around killing things, but instead of rolling over rabbits, it uses like mental powers to kill them. And I'm like, this is bullshit. Tires don't use mental powers to kill people; they roll over them.
they roll over stuff. Yeah, we end up putting something in else
Killer
in.
Tomatoes.
What?
I think
What?
I think
It said
Gutstruck's
Attack of the
getting
Killer
abducted.
Tomatoes.
I've never seen
Gottschalk
that.
turned into an ape for a second.
A robot.
Yeah, I got that big thing across my screen that says your internet connection is unstable.
Oh, nice.
Well, you're here now, but what were you saying this when you turned into an ape?
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Remember that dumb movie?
I never saw it.
Yeah, you did, because you showed it to me in your room in
I didn't
Aurora.
show you a damn thing.
Yeah, I didn't show you, but the only thing I remembered from it is they had a pretty damn realistic helicopter crash in it. I'm like, how did this like a low budget have such a good helicopter crash? And I looked it up, and when they were filming, some guy was buzzing them being a jerk in his helicopter, and he lost control and crashed, and they got it on film. So that was the story. It's a good thing they got it on film, but yeah, I just remember it was a bad movie, really bad effects.
Next question. What's the ultimate picnic food?
Ants.
Ants,
Cats.
Yellow Jackets.
Potato salad.
There's Kansas
Yeah,
City.
there you go.
Bologna sandwiches.
Boy,
Bologna, is that what you said?
the
Yeah.
ultimate picnic food.
Fried
I
chicken.
haven't gone on a picnic in so
Why are
long.
these sandwiches all wet?
Potato chips.
Yeah,
Right, Darn? Why are these sandwiches all wet?
Yeah, we shouldn't have put the Chihuahua in the
Yeah.
basket with the food.
Oh my God, they're all eating on the lunch.
I'm getting stalked by a frog.
You fried.
He's standing on my window staring at me.
I have about 50 million of those little brown lizards all over my damn house.
Yeah.
the little anoles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For everyone you've got there, that's fewer bugs.
Yeah.
I don't have any bugs, I can tell you that.
Well, technically, that's about spiders too. Everyone's
Except
so
for
wanting
their
to-
spiders are bugs, though. It's like if you had a snake that kills snakes, you still got a snake.
Yeah, but the problem is if the spider kills 100 bugs a day, that's 100 bugs to one spider. I'd rather have the one spider, as long as it's not like a brown recluse or something that
Yeah.
Or a big
Black
gross
widow.
give me
Yeah.
skin cancer or something. Yeah,
banana spider.
but they're okay. There's really
Not
only
in-
what?
not-
There's
not
only two.
Not inside though. They're okay outside.
Yeah, I mean, there's only. I guess we're fortunate that there's only like two bad spiders around here, like the black widow and the brown recluse.
No, there's more than that.
Really?
Then you got the brown widow. I've got those at my house.
Well, yeah, it just depends what. Never mind.
Name an object. Name an object you own that is most likely to be haunted.
Interesting.
My computer.
I have my family Bible that's like 100 and some odd years old, and it's this big, huge, leather-bound Bible book that's got the brass clasp on the front and stuff.
Yeah, I've got one of those. But I would think a Bible would be the last thing to be haunted. That would be the opposite.
Well, I'm just saying most likely. Just you know, because of the family history with that. That's about the only thing I've got that's got, you know,
Interesting. Um,
I have my grandma's first wedding anniversary back in the late 60s, early 70s. My grandpa got her Vincent Price cookbook by
Ah,
Vincent Price that he collected these recipes in his travels.
oh,
I
yeah,
might be haunted. All I know is you got to like chicken gizzards because that's like in every recipe.
probably.
yeah, let me Betty Crocker cookie book that my mom
Mm.
inscribed to me that she left to me. That might be haunted with all the
Oh, there you go.
sweet neat cookies. Um, I've got a clock on a wooden pedestal, and it's got a brass horse. It's a brass clock with a brass horse, and I keep it on the bookshelf near my bed. And I don't know. It's got to have been had to have been in the family. It's a family heirloom. I know nothing about it. That was where my mind first went when you said that, because I can't think of anything else I
there's
can think about.
absolutely nothing I have I want to pass on to my kids. I just,
You know, when I was a kid, I thought that I would save my toys, my cars, because they're all cars, pretty much. I thought I would pass them on to my son. And in it, all I really had was Josh. You know, he came with the instant family, and he never really played with toys. It was just all video games and stuff.
I have all my Star Wars action figures, all my
Yeah.
Kenner Star Wars action figures over there.
Tot
Oh,
wants the
there you
Porsche. I
had
assume
what?
that's for Tot wants the Porsche, and I assume that's for sentimental reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Josh ended up leaving me his cars. So the irony, I ended up getting rid of, threw them out. But um, so uh, oh, I made the 3D Porsche. I'm almost done with it
Ah,
for the new Transforma thing. What I did, darn, is the one I scanned of my kind of dumb looking Porsche. You know, the friction car. I ended up using that scan because I actually tried making it from scratch using your model as a study, and I got a lot of some of the proportions done, some of the main body work, and I'm just like, this is too hard. And I just let me import that other scan I did and just look at it again. So what I did is I ended up using that scan, the one I did that was kind of bad, and I used your model as a study to make its proportions more right. So I would just squeeze it and start doing things to where it matched your model. So your model did come in handy. So
Cool, cool.
it looks okay. I'm almost done with it. Boy, it's really cute for an anthro car, for a like a living car. It doesn't have a front bumper. I had to kind of leave the kind of for the face. It looks
ah,
good, really cute. I have to make it an avatar one day, I guess. But I don't want to make it an avatar because that's Darren's car. It would be too disturbing for Darren.
yeah.
No, that'd be okay.
Okay,
Mm.
see me as your car, or see Judy as your car, whatever. All right. I put like on my Patreon, I put like the progress I was making on the thing and had like a picture of the Judy Hulk and all this stuff. I'm just hoping for people to actually say something. I mean, they subscribed, so I mean, they're paying money, but it's just like, at least, am I doing okay? I don't know what I'm doing. Trying to please everybody, and no one says anything.
Just please yourself.
Well, that's like after hours stuff, That's
I was
Yeah, he's on Patreon, not OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. Yeah.
I might have to go the
no, what
OnlyFans.
Well, you said your one subscriber didn't renew.
Yeah, I'll have to start again.
Yeah. It was right when Putt floofied. It's like,
a year.
yeah, it's a little over a year now.
That dog licks his pecker surprisingly little. It's mostly his paws.
Because he can.
He'll chew on his whole hand. He's like,
Oh, okay.
Captain and Lucy used to bite their nails. And now Lucy's kind of quit biting her nails. And now I've got to kind of trim them and stuff. I'm like, what do you mean? You're supposed to keep biting your nails.
yeah.
Let me see if I've written anything down here. Oh, I was kind of hard on Vance the other week because I didn't think I could trust him because he had his wedding and put the dot on his head and everything.
Yeah.
But I got to thinking about it. He might have, they do arranged marriages. He might have had nothing to do with it.
Oh boy.
It's true.
I just think
Yeah.
it's weird that he just gets fatter and fatter and fatter and his eyes get redder and redder.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks a little like Carl Wilson or Al Borland.
It's probably because every time he meets Trump, Trump's like, here, have a couple the quarter pounders.
Yeah. So I got a jury duty thing in the mail later in September. So
You're
Actually,
just in the pool now, or you have to actually go there.
you never know until the Friday before because it's the week of the 21st of September, and I would have to call them the Friday or not. You go online the Friday night before and see if I have to show up.
I worked with
Now-
a guy who was in Minnesota and he got jury duty, and he had to call every morning for 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
At
Yeah,
least
for
in
here it's a
Colorado.
week.
In Colorado, it's once.
Yeah.
Or I've been doing it wrong. But my grandpa always said that if he got picked, he would just tell him that he's excited to do it because he can tell if somebody's guilty just right by looking at him.
Yeah.
I always told people that, remember that you are being judged by 12 people who weren't smart enough to get out of jury duty.
Mhm.
I got the last time I was actually called is when I lived in Alabama, and I was would have had to go to Birmingham for it, but it was right when we were moving, so I just gave them proof that I was moving, and they excused me from it. But I only did jury duty once. It was when I was in my early 20s, and it was awful in the fact that I had to do it for a week, or at least all 4 or 5 days. It was a civil case, and we worked for JAG, we worked for Wheeler, so I didn't get any kind of pay. So I barely had a pot to pee in anyway, and so now I had a week of no work, and all they gave me for the entire week was $15. And I'm not talking $15 a day, $15 for the whole experience. And so that's why it was it was bad.
Yeah.
And
But
that
here
one,
it's $15 a day, but they don't pay you for the first day if you have to show up.
There was one guy that seemed to be enjoying the whole thing. He was rocking in his chair the whole time and just looked like he was just enjoying the heck out of it. And right when we were going to deliberate, they sent him home and said he was the alternate. Oh, could you imagine? He was the only one that was really enjoying himself. And
That's probably why they sent him home.
yeah, I think the only thing everybody was there and they had to introduce all the jurors, to everybody. And they wanted your name and occupation. I said, I'm Tim and I'm in home improvement. Everybody laughed.
I'm Darren. I run an OnlyFans site.
Fortunately, there was no internet at that time.
Yeah, there you go.
good old days.
No, I had the trial. When the fuck was it? It was like 2 years ago or 3 years ago now. I had to take the bus all the way to downtown LA and back. And we were in the courthouse that Perry Mason walks up the steps of. So I thought, okay. But I actually had to be on a jury in a trial. You figure that once you've done that, they should say, okay, you're done. You can, we're going to go bother somebody else. But no, they got to do it again.
I figured it's because I was a registered libertarian that they were getting back at me.
Yeah, probably.
I
figure those guys
I think I actually changed my affiliation after that to independent, and then I think it was right around the Gulf War, after 9/11, when like the lefties were going to Iraq to be moving targets. And that's why I just registered Republican. I'm just like, I want to be the opposite of whatever I'm seeing here, totally.
Sorry, guys.
What did you do? Did you throw up or something?
Often.
Another great in-between face there.
I had a nice little thumbnail for you, though.
We
We should probably update our thumbnail. Since we got
if
Darren.
You want, sure.
Well, before Darren was he was using the puppet.
Yeah.
And I haven't been that T-Bird in a long time, so I could probably use a different. Got more avatars since then. I really went to town with all the different. You okay, Gotcha?
He froze up. Oh,
no, his eyes move.
But yeah, he's kind of like intermittently freezing up.
He's like at the end of Police Squad.
At once.
Gotcha, give us another card.
He ain't moving.
How you doing, Lewis? How you doing, Wendy? Can you get back on your phone again? Can you get back on your phone?
I think it'll pass.
It's just he's got a crappy internet connection because he's on dial-up or some shit.
My thing says your internet connection is unstable. Let me.
Oh, you're back now, kind of
low on power.
Give us a card.
Your internet connection is unstable, or your internet user is unstable.
Your BabbleGab compatriots are unstable.
Can you try it from your phone, Gotcha? It seemed to do better.
Well, if his internet connection is no good, then his internet connection is no good.
Oh, I don't know what my phone uses.
TV set.
I get
my phone uses a cell tower. It doesn't even use my internet. I mean, it used to. I think it's changed. I mean,
I thought I did a perfect job of freezing up earlier.
And it says your internet
looking back.
And it was cool because I looked totally frozen, but the dog was still licking itself.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a giveaway. Steve would do that sometimes and make a goofy face like he's trying to suck something.
So, you ready?
Yeah.
We sneak pills to our dogs in cheese. If the roles were reversed, what should dogs sneak your pills in?
Cheese.
It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? I've started giving my dogs a little piece of like the sliced Swiss cheese once in a while. And I think I just call it I call it Swiss because it just sounds better than cheese. Doesn't it? Cheese just sounds
hamburger
cheesy.
For me, cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger.
The problem with me with hamburgers is that my retainer pops out, my wire retainer that's like glued to my teeth. It's popped up twice, and it was from eating a hamburger of all things. You would think it would be from eating something hard or chewy or taffy or something. No, it's a hamburger. I think
Now,
it's
for
because I don't.
Good.
I just think it's because I don't eat hamburger very often. So when I do, I'm just like a hungry wolf, eating it, and that's when I pop things out.
I got a filling taken out by one of those filling removers, also known as Jolly Ranchers.
Oh wow! When's the last time you had one of those?
Middle school. I probably had one since then, but that's when I lost my filling.
Gay farmers used to call them that.
Now,
Oh,
for
speaking of,
Jimmy, they would hide his pills in bacon mac and cheese.
oh,
My old parrot Queequeg, his
From
favorite.
from,
He would.
from that place. What the hell's the name of that place?
Brady's B for
Yeah,
Brady's.
Beef O'Brien.
Yeah.
Mm.
What darn?
My old parrot Queequeg. Whenever I was eating, he always wanted some of my dinner. So if I didn't give it to him right away, he'd be like, Darren, Darren, Darren. So I had to give him some. But his absolute favorite food was bacon. When I gave him bacon, he would eat it and he would just make a weird clicking sound that he only made when he was eating bacon. And that I took that to mean, oh my God, this is so good.
I think a grasshopper would even eat bacon. It's just like anything it doesn't matter if they're plant eaters or whatever, loves bacon. But so I found on Facebook a roommate, Darren's roommate, a friend of ours for years, played D&D with us, named Brian. I found him, but he's one of those people that's like posted twice. It's hard to tell when you just find people because sometimes their stuff's private and you can't see all their posts. But I found a picture of him from 2011, and he's with this. It looked like his wife or whatever. It was kind of a heavy set redheaded woman. I'm like, but he was gay, wasn't he? And I was trying to think, and then I'm like, and then after a while, I'm like, oh wait, no, redheaded, heavy set. Well, that was his thing. So I'm like, that's got to be him. And I gave him a friend request, but he never responded. But I don't think he's hardly been there. And then I looked up his wife, and she was like a manager at Albertsons. So I'm like, well, this is all coming together. But I saw a recent picture he was tagged in it, and he says he lives in Yulee, which is where we live, but he looks so different. It's possible we've just run into him, not even known. But his 2011 picture, it was definitely how we remembered him. But now he's like gained weight and it kind of looks you could kind of tell it's him, but it's kind of hard. So I haven't heard from either of them, but it's like she stopped posting in like 21. So it's just like, I don't know. He's got a mutual.
Heard from Jack. You haven't heard from your guys' close friend Jack Porter and what?
I looked him. I looked up the research you did, and I looked it up further and got his phone number and called him, and it like went. It was like a dead number. So I don't know. I tried to get a hold of him. I'm trying to get a hold of all of our old friends, And there's a mutual.
Except for Whitaker.
Tried to get a hold of Whitaker. I wanted to get him on our show since we agreed we would give it another go, and he never responded.
He was multitasking.
I kind of hope I didn't hurt his feelings when we tried to get him on the wrong channel that time, and it didn't work out because we didn't really talk much after.
He actually had my number one time. He had my number. We exchanged it on Facebook or Messenger or something. He called one time. My wife answered the phone and said, "Oh, he's busy. Can you call back in like a half hour?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, cool." Never.
What's even worse than that is I had the friend I visited in Australia, Steve. He's such kind of a shy guy and kind of a fragile guy, and we were always calling each other, on the phone, and it was shortly after I got married, Randy answered the phone when he called, and Randy thought it was somebody joking with the Australian accent. And he's like, yeah, right, this and that. And he's like, and he gave him a hard time and finally hung up on him. And he never called me again. Like, you bastard. He ruined my first guitar. He ruined my friendship with Steve. He ruined my mustard jar I got from Zizo's, the gag jar. Ruined all sorts of things. I should have never gotten married.
Well, yeah, kind of goes without saying.
Yeah. But
That never get married and never finance furniture.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, that's
never.
or rent to own furniture. No, but
Oh, good Lord.
I do eventually. I mean, I do occasionally email him or Facebook message him, but I try to get him on our show, or I try to at least Zoom with him or something. And he's just so hard egg to crack.
Yeah.
He's got a heart problems now and stuff. Uh, oh well.
Well, I'm really glad I reconnected with Putt before he passed,
Yeah.
by a couple years. I'm glad I reconnected with you, Darren. I mean, me, you, and Putt and Whitaker were like the original crew in high school.
It would have been neat having all of you on the show, but like I said, Whitaker, he changed. He wasn't a nerd anymore.
And I never lost touch with Putt, but we would go 3 years in between. But it didn't feel like I'd lost touch, but I should have talked more.
Well, shoot, you and I, Darren, would go like 3 years in between.
It's because I think. Go ahead.
Me was like every 5 or 6 years with Putt.
Me, it's like I don't want to bother people. They don't want to talk to me.
Yeah, well, Putt and I were, and Darren, we had the band together for a little while. So, I mean, at least when I lived in Colorado, Putt we saw him all the time. He'd come over. But the problem with Putt is something bad would happen, or I guess he wrecked his car or something, and he'd just leave and without really any explanation and never talk to us again, kind of thing. Well, you kind of did that, Gottschalk, a couple of years ago. Remember that?
What's that?
You just left without any explanation, and I thought it was something I said, and you exited our conversation and our group in Messenger.
That was by accident.
Yeah, but you didn't say. I mean, this like months went by. You didn't say anything. I just like, what did I do? No, I mean, I knew I did stuff, but I figured you'd take it as a joke.
It had nothing to do with you.
One day we'll get you drunk or get you on crack or something, and then you'll tell us.
I vaguely remember it. I was cleaning up my Facebook and my Messenger and stuff like that, trying to get rid of a lot of old conversations of people I don't talk to anymore and stuff like that. And I just, for whatever reason, hit leave the group for film projects. And how come Darn isn't on? Oh, you're not on Facebook or Messenger. Never mind.
Yeah.
He was for a little while. I think everybody's on Facebook at least once, and then sometimes they'll stay about a month, and then it's not for them. And
Well, the only reason why I stay on Facebook for the most part is my son-in-law and my daughter love to post photos and stories about the grandkids on there. And it's like,
that's the only reason I'm there, is to see your grandkids. I'm just there for family and friends, because otherwise you got to send them Christmas cards and stuff. Who wants to do that?
When was the last time anybody sent a Christmas card to somebody?
Oh, I did. I sent one to my old boss last Christmas, because he sent me one.
I think women.
Yeah, I got one.
From a woman?
No, from me.
No.
I'm just kidding. I didn't send anybody. I did send my old boss one. I sent a few of them last year.
No, it's like what Tony says too. Timmy, me, you, and Darn, and even Steve live within what 3.5 hours of each other. At most.
Yeah.
It's like Tony said with Molly. You only live what
126 miles.
126 miles away, and you still haven't seen her in what 10 years.
13.
Yeah, but that's a long bicycle ride for Tony.
Yeah.
And we can't get Molly. We can't even get Molly to be on our show, so she ain't gonna go out to see anybody.
I sent her the Zoom link by Facebook Messenger, and I look now at a chat with her little circle with the hasn't even been there since July. Shouldn't even looked at Facebook or Messenger or anything. I don't even know how that works. I mean, you always get the notification.
Just doesn't click on it. It
Still
don't.
doing a radio show or whatever?
Yeah. She likes a new album. She's always playing stuff from, not always, but she likes to play stuff from the new album. And the songs went through my updates.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so they're streaming now, because there's when you get a CD made, sometimes you can just pay a little fee when you do it, and it'll grace note your songs where they end up on the streaming services. And I'm like, well, I'm doing mine where they keep 15% of the royalties, but that's not a big deal considering I've only made. I did get a BMI check for $30-something, a royalty check last week.
Wow.
So even so, I mean, all those years that I've used their services, they've made hardly anything. But what was nice is when I couldn't live with my music anymore, and I finally told them, what could I do to redo some of these songs, and they're like, oh, we can replace them for you. So that's what I wouldn't have been able to do that without like an aggregate, without somebody to go through. So I'd say it was worth the money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't even listen to Hideaway anymore. It pissed me off. So now I'm at least where I can listen to it now if I wanted to. Or I've just got a whole bunch of CDs that are junk now. I should have never done that. I should have never had that many made.
Yeah.
And come to think of it, I didn't leave for a year. I left for like 3 months. Steve left for a whole year one time.
I did. Did I say you left for a year, or was it a year
Yeah,
or two
you
ago?
said a year. You left for like a year.
Oh,
No, like 3 months.
seemed like a year. Seemed like a long time.
Yeah.
Because Tony and I, it seemed like it was at least a year where Tony and I, it was about the time we were doing Transforama, the BabbleGab. It was just like, there were so many times it was just me and him. It was excruciating. And it's nothing against Tony, but you just can't do it with 2 people.
Yeah.
It's like sex.
Yeah.
It's overrated.
Yeah, that was depressing. That was a depressing time. What happened to Ethos?
Yeah.
No, we haven't had a single comment in like an hour.
Yeah.
We make people sad.
Yeah.
Well, I warned them that
Only 2 likes. Nobody clicks
it's-
like. There's only 2 likes, and one of them is mine.
One of them's mine.
Oh, well, none of you guys.
No.
Wendy or
Gottschalk's part of the show and Steve's part of the show, and they won't even like it on the YouTube.
Yeah.
It helps the
Well,
algorithm.
neither
It
will
helps-
Wendy or Kendra or whoever else who was.
I know it actually helps get it out there to people when people like
I
it.
try to do it sometimes. I try to do it from time. I just forget because I'm on the show.
Plus, if people actually come across it and they just see 2 likes, it's not very. I mean, I've kind of quit doing the whole thing where we don't tell people how many viewers, because I was actually hoping something would come with the show by then, but it was kind of. That was one thing.
This show is by us for us.
Yeah, but one of the things I do miss about Putt is that him and I were the ones that really wanted to carry the show up a level and make it like actually get entertained, where we could have a Patreon. And, if Josh could make hundreds of dollars a month on his Patreon, why can't we, So that's kind of how I was thinking. I was really wanting to make something of the show and have and Putt and I were writing skits we could do, and we were going to have, and we actually started doing some of the stuff. And it turned out fun.
Yeah.
But then that's when he started getting really sick. So then he kind of dropped out of that.
Well, Kendra, if you really did like us, you'd click like on this video.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I just don't believe you.
Yeah, she says, "You don't make me sad. I miss you, Daddy and Uncle Tim.
Oh.
I miss you too. So like our stuff." Yeah.
Or poop. Do you have the option of doing a poop emoji? Or is it just a like button? There should be a poop button.
There is a poop on there.
I was wanting to, that's kind of how I wanted to end the Transforama thing.
with poop.
Yeah, with Terry being like an anthro turd. But right now I'm about to make Rob into, because I put it on Patreon that anybody that has any ideas what to do with Rob, because he's got to be big enough to move these junk cars. And I thought about making him like an Iron Hulk, like an iron kind of giant Rob.
Ah.
I guess that's what I'm going to do, because nobody else had any better idea. I had some other. There's God's Chuck as a turd. But
Why not a big steam shovel with a grabber?
that was an idea. That's one of the things I put on there. I even had your idea with the tow truck. I had an elephant. I had like maybe kind of a half steam shovel, half this and that. I don't know. I'll keep your idea in mind, Dar.
And it has to be steam powered.
Oh, steam.
Yeah, steam crane or something.
Well, if you clicked like and I clicked like and Timmy clicked like, there should be 3 likes and there are only 2.
Did you refresh?
I don't think. I think YouTube lies about stuff like that.
Yeah, I think they do, because sometimes I've liked my own videos and it doesn't really show up. So I don't know. Maybe it doesn't show up when we like it.
That's why I don't like YouTube.
I don't like YouTube either, but there's not much of an alternative. I mean, we've thought about doing this on Rumble, and that way we can actually play song clips and stuff. I was talking to Lisa about how in the old days, if I had more than one drink, I would just be a motor mouth and just keep talking and talking. And she made a joke like I became an FM radio, and I was like, oh, that would be a cool avatar. Could you imagine like a radio? And then I could actually, if you played songs, I don't know, that would be interesting.
I was at a pet store and there was this radio playing and there was people talking on it, and it just went on and on and on. And then I finally looked down and it realized it wasn't a radio; it was a mynah bird.
Ah.
Was that Noah's Pets?
Yeah.
Kansas
And
City.
I was gonna say, was that Pet City in Hoffman Heights?
No, this was Kansas City. This is a long time ago.
German Corners.
Yeah, it's called Noah's Pets. I used to think it was called No One's Pets.
Yeah. Not see any difference. See, if I do this thing, sometimes it'll like make a heart thing show up.
Oh, I thought that was Lucy's butthole. Or not butthole, but Lucy's butt. You know that, like at the beginning of the Lucy show.
Nirvana had a song about a heart-shaped ass.
Yeah.
Everybody crazy about it.
We used to joke about Nirvana that Kurt Cobain only knew 3 chords, and it was every song had the same 3 chords pretty much, or it might have a different 3 chords, but it was always the same song basically. And the songs were like novelty songs. It was had one about doing his bird and stuff. It was all this. It was like, because we got into them the same time as the Butthole Surfers and stuff. And when Kurt Cobain floofied himself, everybody was acting like it was,
You don't think she shot him?
Well, when he floofied, everybody was acting like it was like, Jesus floofied. I just couldn't believe how people, I just thought they were a novelty band. I didn't realize they were.
I didn't even know who Nirvana was until he floofied.
Who? Oh, Nirvana.
Primus has a really good song about that called "Coattails of a Dead Man."
The one that pissed off Putt?
Yeah. Pissed off Putt because it sounded like Tom Waits, is that his name?
Yeah.
And then we finally looked it up and it was co-made with Tom Waits and Primus, but was still a little bit pissed.
Kendra makes me laugh. I did like it. Jeez.
Yeah, but maybe the likes are legitimate, and the ones when we like them, and maybe they don't show up. So
yeah, maybe the participant likes don't show up.
Yeah, Gracie she thought it was funny. I played that song to Gracie when you'd send it to me, Darren. Darren and I used to send each other songs, when we liked each other.
But how does it know who's a participant?
Well, if Tony and me are admins of the channel, that's how it knows that we're part of the
Yeah.
channel.
Okay.
So I guess maybe our likes don't count. I don't know. I figured that all the likes counted, but who knows?
Yeah, I figured you hate everything, so I don't send you stuff. Although I did send you that Land of the Lost thing, even though I figured you'd probably hate it.
I didn't hate it.
No, you didn't.
The only thing I hate is when people do like a Kathy Coleman, what happened to her now, and they find this picture of her from about 2011 when she almost died, and she uh, was, when she was in an induced coma for 2 months, and she had that horrible heat stroke. So her face was swollen and red and everything. She looked terrible. And so there were some like fan get-togethers where her face looked like that, and then that's what they used. And I gave them hell at one YouTube channel. I said, why would you use that picture when she was sick? And they're like, I didn't know that. I'm just like, you did change your thumbnail or whatever. She doesn't look like that.
I like my Land
That's
of
the
the
only
Lost.
time that's the only time I get pissed off. But they didn't do that. The one Darren did.
I
In
like
fact,
the
they
Land
use
of the
that.
Lost.
Go ahead.
I said I like the Land of the Lost one I shared today. Where my anxiety began. So
The what?
you didn't see that video I posted on Film
Oh, I
Project?
saw something about a sleep stack or something. I didn't.
Therapist asked where my anxiety began, and I said me, and it's sleep stacks.
And you said you actually bought a ticket for that.
Yes, I'm going November 7th.
I was kind of hoping Wendy Lou would show up so I could because the fanboy is supposed to be this weekend, and we haven't even bought tickets or made particular plans yet. I was kind of hoping to do that tonight.
Wish you the best of luck at this point.
Why?
I think it's sold out.
No, they don't sell out, do they?
You had to buy your tickets in advance. Let me look.
I think usually you can buy those things at the door.
Maybe you can.
I've never been at a fanboy thing that's had more than 10 people there.
I'm looking.
All right. I did check to make sure all the batteries for the robot are okay. And I scanned the jaw, the mouth guard, and I was going to print a new, kind of hone it and make it nicer shaped and print a new one. And I just didn't have time. This stupid Transforma video's gone nuts. It's going to be the longest one I've ever made.
Eventually, Timmy, you're going to be like a guest at these things, with your Transformers stuff.
I wish something would happen with
As
it.
a content creator,
Yeah, the problem with those cons, those booths, they cost like $5,000 just to get a booth at one of those things.
Ooh, Randy Quaid's going to be there.
Oh yeah, I get him mixed up with Tom Arnold. Randy Quaid was in The Wraith, right?
He was in
I don't know.
Independence Day. And
Yep.
Yeah, but The Wraith was a
Vacation.
good movie. The Wraith was a good movie. I liked it.
He was in Vacation.
I only liked him in The Wraith, but I really liked The Wraith. Wouldn't mind meeting him just for that.
Watch The Wraith again.
That's
You'll
the
be
one
like,
with Charlie
why the-
Sheen. Charlie
You'll be
Sheen
like,
with.
why the hell did I do this?
Well, maybe he would be flattered if I said how good The Wraith was, especially when he was standing there by his car and looked like he was dick kicked by a Smurf.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. I'll have to tell him that story. He might not appreciate it as much as we
I
did.
feel like too. I mean, Heather Locklear, I could meet her again.
And she might even remember me. Do you remember me? I met you in like 1986. I was a skinny, geeky, ugly kid. She's like, yeah, I remember you.
And you're still a skinny, geeky kid. Get away from me.
I'm okay with it now. Oh, hi, Wendy Lou.
He was just talking about.
I was just telling them about Fanboy. It's in a few days, and we haven't really got tickets or really talked about it. So I was wanting to make sure we were still on for that or not. I can go either way, but I
Hey, Wendy Lou, if you could click like on the thing just so we could see if anything happens.
Yeah, like on our video here. We were kind of debating that.
Something tells me about that BartoCon because Wesley Ure and Kathy Coleman have gone to it both years now. I wonder if the people that put that together know them.
I don't think so.
I think so because they did some stuff in Hollywood for. They talk about the people that put it together in there.
Oh, well, that's possible. Because none of the other fests, none of the other cons will have them, I don't think, except Pensacon.
And that has been for a couple of years.
Yeah, didn't someone say that hardly anyone's at Pensacon now, or it wasn't very good now? Somebody said that like a week or two ago. Maybe Steve? I don't know.
It was Gizmo.
Could have been Gizmo.
Actually, there's gonna be a couple people there now. And now Johnny Whitaker's gonna be there.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it might be worth going to. That's like
I
three
always get
people I
him
wouldn't
mixed up
mind
with
seeing.
Johnny Crawford, but Johnny Crawford passed away a few years ago.
You know who I get Johnny Whitaker? I get him confused with the Eddie Munster one that was in Lidsville.
Butch Patrick?
Butch Patrick. I get
Yeah.
both of those confused.
I
But
get him
Johnny Whitaker
confused
was
with
Jody.
Big John.
Do what?
I get him confused with Big John.
Big John?
Big John.
Yeah,
Big
all it
Bad
says about the
John.
people that put it together is Sean and Laura Serdinsky have been in the entertainment business for 25 plus years. As huge fans of conventions, they want to bring back the personal feel of the small convention, making sure that it is not costly to attend or vend.
Oh. Well, maybe that's part of it too. You know, they can't get like William Shatner if they're going to do a more budget. How much were tickets?
$25.
I think I got to go. I just need to get the. She said she clicked like.
Still shows 2.
Do you have to refresh it?
Yeah.
I do want to keep that picture of Gottschalk for our thumbnail with the wiener.
Yeah.
It's a good picture.
Oh, okay. Now we got 4. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I just had to-
$25 for the admission ticket, but a photo op with Wesley Ure and Kathy Coleman is $100.
Yeah, but I've already got pictures with them. I don't want to pay them again. See, that's what makes it awkward. So I have to go. I don't know if Wendy's interested, but one of you have got to meet them. That way they can at least do a photo op. So we're, you know, I've already spent. I spent so much money on them. I don't want to do it again. I keep getting the same autograph, the same picture. I've got like 3 different pictures of them that they're signed. It's the same, you know, it's just the same.
And actually,
Because
with your robot, so we might get people wanting to take pictures with you, and maybe we need to be charging their ass.
Well, I think I'm
Yeah.
going to be the gator because that way I can do the costume contest and not feel guilty about having a bot kind of costume. Because I want to do the robot this weekend.
If you
Well, plus Wesley and Kathy have seen the robot, so I thought I'd do something they hadn't seen.
so they would know it's you.
I don't know. I don't think they would know it's me as the gator. But that makes it better. I like to surprise them and stuff. Because remember the YouTube video where I surprised Kathy? She didn't know I was the robot. That was really neat. This her reaction when she found out it was Timmy.
You need to get your draconian again.
You know, we've talked about it. I've still got it. Well, I've used the head here on a Halloween episode before.
Yeah.
I need to scan. I crushed one of the legs accidentally, setting a videotape crate on it. So I've got to scan one of the legs and then mirror it in 3D and print it. So that's one of the steps I got to do for it.
So do you explode if you floofy?
Huh?
Do you explode if you feel floofy?
Is that what draconians do?
Yes.
We'll see.
Sound familiar.
What? Well, they do the three different kinds. They do three different ones. One explodes. One turns to stone and traps any weapons that they get. And the other one, I can't remember what the other one does.
Yeah, I do remember something about what happened. There's a little story about that. It's Darren and me and some friends. Uh, we were having one of our drunk Dungeons and Dragons nights, and Darren had I guess it was Dragonlance. He had this book, and it had these painted figurines that uh, were talking about the different creatures in the game. And we decided, hey, we all decided that we were going to make a Halloween costume the next year off of one of those. We were going to be one of the characters. One guy was going to be like a blue genie, and I chose a draconian, a bronze draconian, and I was the only one that actually did it. But it took several years. It probably took 5 years to make it. Uh, it was a tough project.
Didn't you say you had to? You knew some guy that did some stuff for the costumes and stuff too, and you had to call
Yeah,
him. And
it was a Fangora magazine. I would never bought that stuff, but I bought a Fangora because there was a full page ad for Monster Makers. It was this guy that made monsters for Hollywood and stuff, and he sold supplies and different masks and things. And this is pre-internet, so I called the company up and asked if they had gargoyle wings. And I'm talking to the guy. I think his name was Arnold Goldman or something, the guy that owned the company. And you could tell he was working and talking to me on the phone. And he's like, no, we don't sell those, but tell you what, you could do this. You could take a shower curtain liner. You could do this and that and the other things. And we he was real nice. And we were talking about how to do it. So I ended up buying a lot of stuff from him, like the resins and slush latex, all the different things. A lot of the stuff I bought from Home Depot or Lowe's. And yeah, it took 5 years, but I ended up making a heck of a costume with the fulcrum system for the wings. I'm pretty impressed with not to be impressed with myself because I was mostly consider myself like a dumbass then, but I was like, I did pretty good. And that face, the one I wore, I made that out of clay the first time. There was no experimenting. That was the first time I formed that head and came up with it the first time. You believe that? It was just like, it turned out good. It was just a really hard thing to do. It took so long to make that stuff, but it was a fun project. And it was about 10 years later is when I made the Mark II version of it with the arms and made it really nice. But it killed me. It was like a torture device wearing it. So I would have to figure out how to do it again without having to paint myself.
I dropped all his groceries.
I keep thinking of the Last Page of Summer movie with the black lady that dropped all of her grocery bags when Terry was getting all his clothes ripped off by the teeny bopper fans.
Yeah.
That's gotta suck, walking up that hill with heels on.
Yeah, with your face in someone's ass. No, some people might like that. Not your mother. That's disgusting, Tony. Gee whiz.
Yeah, I remember playing the Dragonlance series in your room there, Darren, all weekend long that one time.
I remember playing it at school.
When I was at Dragon Con, I don't know if it was the first year I was a Draconian or the second, but the lady that made Dragonlance was there as a guest.
Tracy Hickman.
I guess I don't remember the name, but I don't know if she ever knew that there was an actual Draconian there because there were only two Draconians in the world at that time. I was the East Coast Draconian and there was a West Coast Draconian. And I had wings and no tail, and he had a tail and no wings. And his head looked like an art piece. It was beautifully done. It looked like something you would have on a wall or something. He was like a red draconian, but it was shiny with these horns everywhere. Really nice looking thing. But but his body, it was just all leather armor. It wasn't organic. I mean, mine was all flesh, it would look like an actual creature. So I would say that both of ours were like equal in caliber. They were just the weak points and strong points were different in them. And I eventually got a hold of him, and he was a real nice guy. And we gave each other diagrams of. I told him how to do the wings, and he told me how to do the tail. We each shared diagrams. Isn't that nice? But yeah, just like mine, he said he needed an entourage too, to keep it together and everything.
Yeah.
He's from San Francisco. I don't know whatever happened. Just lost touch.
The worst thing about playing Dragonlance back when Dragonlance came out in the 80s is it was a 12 module series and they only came out with a module every one a month for like a year. So you'd play one module over the course of a weekend or a night or something like that, and then you had to wait a month for it.
Well, at least they were putting thought into it,
I might have missed one of them too. I'll have to look at my modules, but I
I've
think
got them all over there. All the
Could you
original
imagine
ones.
playing Dungeons and Dragons like on Zoom here and us being in costume?
it sounds fun.
Go to YouTube and watch. It's there. Many of them.
Mm.
Sounds
Wait,
fun until you get to the costume part.
That's
Yeah.
that's what makes it fun.
You guys watch Viva La Dirt League?
Never heard of it.
Oh, go watch Viva La Dirt League.
I
Oh my
can't.
God.
I can't watch anything. I don't have anything.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, is it? I do
Yeah,
have YouTube.
but they're just a group of D&D people that play like NPCs and just make fun. They're funny as shit. They do skits about the one character, the one character who shows up playing a game with a character name that nobody wants to play with. The guy's name was like Poop McDinglefart.
I have YouTube going all day, and it's like it's kind of what I was talking about. I've lived in the same place, but my life was different. Just years ago, it was before COVID happened.
Oh.
I had made a station for my mom when she was in hospice care for it had all of her 70s songs, her soft rock songs, and it was a Spotify station I made, and I started just expanding on it after she floofied. I just started expanding a lot more songs, like every song that she liked, and I found soft rock songs that I like, and I made this big station. And I'd have some coffee in the morning at work, and I would just listen to that music, and I would just listen to music all day. And after the morning, because I figured maybe she was there in spirit and could listen to her music, but then I would just listen to music I liked, the '60s stuff, and that's all I would do. I'd just work and listen to. And then COVID happened, and the riots and everything else, and ever since then, I just watched YouTube people, like politics, and it's just like I don't ever listen to music like that at work anymore. It changed my habits so much.
Hmm.
Darren used to listen to music at work, but sorry.
Yeah, but I stopped.
Yeah.
I stopped listening to music at work before I stopped working.
Well, it's because the Carpenters, because they broke up, because of.
Yeah. Well, died, but
I think they broke up before she floofy, didn't they? I
Hmm.
don't know. Or am I thinking of ABBA? I don't
think what's his name? Richard Carpenter ever did anything. He didn't record anything himself after that.
I don't think so. He didn't need to because he had has a car museum.
Yeah.
He took there that like Richard Carpenter, he would take his money and buy classic cars.
Yeah.
But
he bought them new, and then they became classics.
Yeah, well, except he had a collection of Chrysler 300s from the 50s.
Yeah.
So that would have been a little before his time.
I'm actually this fall going to go to that Don Gerlet's museum right down the road.
Oh yeah, Don Garlett's.
Garlands, yeah.
Garlet's,
Big
Not
Daddy.
burlesque. Garlands.
Huh? Yeah, was he Big Daddy or Daddy Don? What was his name?
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. Now he's the reason that that they put the passenger compartment and dragsters in front of the engine instead of in back, because in the 60s dragsters they were in back, and he had a accident. I guess it split in half or something. There's engine blew or something, and they thought he
Yeah.
floofied, but he didn't floofy. But they made that they changed the way they were
he
designed.
designed it. I think he designed
Oh, was that
it after
he
that
designed
accident.
it?
Yeah.
Kind of like
And
I'd said
everybody
the
said,
story
yeah, this
before.
is a much
where-
better idea.
Yeah, I'd said the story before. Like in 1970, Richard Petty rolled his Plymouth on the speedway, and it ended up on roof down, and they thought that his meat was hanging out of the window,
Yeah.
and it scared everybody so bad. But it ended up being his red sweat rags
Yeah.
that were. But after that, they made the nets in the car windows. After that, so it was like. Where they said that regulations are written in blood, but at least that one was written in sweat rags.
Yeah. All right.
Well, on that note,
Well,
Yeah.
thanks for hanging out, everybody.
Yeah, it was a great show. And some,
I'll ping you, Wendy,
precipitation.
then about the thing this weekend and all that.
Yeah.
I guess we'll only have 2 days. It's a good time to plan for it.
yeah, good night, everybody. Thank
Well,
you for
good
Good
joining.
night,
night.
everybody. Bye.
I'm glad I was able to be here this time.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
glad you finally got it
Are you
squared
supposed to?
away.
Are you going to go to like a funeral or anything?
Maybe October, November.
Well, just
got-
make sure they don't do it the same weekend as the
Oh no.
Bartow
Yeah.
Con, because you
I'll be
got
the one.
tickets.
Yeah.
Do what? Yeah.
So
All right. Well, take care, everybody.
Bye.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Night. Night, everybody. Night, Wendy Lou and Kendra. Anybody else there?
Night.
Why?
Bye.